Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Kiwanis Field. Don Varda with Avery Walma and Austin Baltimore. The Portage Indians are in town tonight, guys. And hey, last week of the regular season, where do the players coming in? These teams have both had some difficulty this year. Where do the players' mindsets come into this last game, heading into the tournament?
Well, obviously, both of these teams are gonna want to get a little bit of momentum. That's gonna be a given one, but you're just gonna want to try end off on a win in general. Wins are better than losses, and if you're trying to get a little bit of momentum, that'll help.
And Avery, when you look at the conditions tonight, obviously it's been raining all day in LaPorte. The field had a lot of water on it. They might have done something to drain it, because when we got here 2 hours ago, there was a 4-inch puddle behind where the players stand.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be all about the run game tonight, and they're really going to have to use that power to get through each line. They're really going to have to stick the ball really to the hands if they really pass. And, it's going to be tough for a pass, so expect a lot of running.
All right. Our play callers tonight, Avery Walma and Austin Baltimore. Guys, go ahead right into your pregame show, and we'll be back with the kickoff in just about 7 minutes. You're watching high school football on the LaPorte Slicer Network.
No, Austin, let's look at LaPorte and Portage. LaPorte, they're 1-7, 0-6 in the conference. Their only win was against the New Prairie Cougars, Week 1, 20-18. Austin Eppel is the new head coach for LaPorte. He's 1-7 in first year overall and with the school. LaPorte still battling that fourth head coach in 4 years. They really don't have any consistency up top right now.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, they've kind of had a battle through all year, every single year for all of our high school careers, I would say. So, obviously, they're just trying to find someone that works for them, someone that's going to help them get their schemes right. And, it's kind of hard to build that philosophy if you don't, know if your job is going to be in jeopardy or not.
They've been shut out 3 times. They're tied for last in the DAC. Portage actually has a tiebreaker with the points. And, again, they've got a new quarterback coming in, Drew Flores.
Yeah, and I think that was a good move for them, Avery. It gave them a new look. And, you guys were talking about Coach Eppel and this new coaching program, and I just think he's done a tremendous job. One of the things the kids are getting, right, is there's a real standard for being on this football team. Coach Eppel has this team. He has the culture of this team set in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely agree with that. And people of LaPorte love Coach Eppel. He used to play football here. He's a running back. Whenever me and Avery interviewed him last week, everyone that drove by honked their horns. So you really can tell that, honestly, the whole city of LaPorte is just behind him.
And I think, and you guys are football fans, but when you come in and you take over a program, right, you inherit a program, and you have to build it, right? You got to build your offensive line. You got to build your D-line. Those things take time. It never hurts to have some great skill players, like having Tyreek Hill in the backfield, throwing him that slant route. You know what I'm saying, though? It takes time to build that team.
And you really have to base your plans, your game plans, off of what you've seen so far, especially coming from an assistant coach to a head coach role. And, you got to move from that, learn from the other head coach's mistakes, and build off what you have available.
Yeah, almost exactly what you're saying. You got to build on what you have, and it's hard to instill, your discipline and the ways you want to do things into those seniors, because they've learned different. They've learned, throughout their other years how they're supposed to do things. So it kind of just creates a whole new atmosphere for the players, and it's kind of tough to learn a little bit, but a lot of these players have great adjustment skills, so they're going to get there.
All right, let's talk about these two teams, guys. We got our keys to the games tonight. Let's first start with Portage. When you look at the Portage Indians coming in here, they're 0-8 on the year. They've scored about 67 points, or they've scored about 120 points and given up. They've scored about 3 times the amount of points as anybody else in the bottom of the conference. What do you see as the keys for Portage?
Well, for me right now, I feel like the keys to the game for Portage is, you got to get help with the weather, stick to the run game, stick to what you're good with. And then also another thing is, even if you do try air it out, don't be scared to take the top off the slicers. You can get a little shifty with it. And number 3, win in the trenches. Since the weather is going to be here, that's going to set the precedent for the whole game.
And then when you look at LaPorte coming in here, Avery, what do you see as the keys for LaPorte in this game tonight?
It really starts from you really got to sustain last week's run game. They were really strong overall. you also have to keep positive yardage. They took a lot of penalties last week, and that hurt them really bad. They were over 100 yards in penalties, and you got to get the ball out quick. I mean, Portage has a huge D-line that can come in and absolutely clobber you, but you know what? You got to keep that ball moving, especially when you're up front.
Guys, let's take a look at the starters for tonight's game.
You know, for LaPorte, they've got a couple injuries. They've got Drew Flores at quarterback, Trey Bechtel at halfback, Joey Kirk, Keegan Heinkel, John Whitaker, and Van Warner all at wide receiver. They've got a very good wide receiver crew. They also have Kelly Hay that's over there. On the D-line, it's Lucas Del Rio. Sam Pressler is the tackle alongside Malachi Washington. They also have Drew Oz on that D-line. Kyle Friel as inside linebacker. R.J. Carnes, also another strong linebacker. You know, at the beginning of the year, the linebacker duo, Javel Broom and Kyle Friel, was ranked top in the region.
And then, they've been really good these past few weeks. One thing I like to see in these games is Javel Broom actually, can go into coverage. He goes into coverage quite a bit, and he gets breakups on different players.
Looking at the Portage offense first, they've got Jaden Roberts, a wide receiver. They've got JoJo Memon in the slot. They've got the right tackle, Xavier Anderson. Right guard, Elijah Soria. The center, the big old Richard Vega. Left guard, Gavin Hernandez. Left tackle, Christian Partlow. The wide receiver crew is strong for this Portage team. As long as they can catch that ball, they're very strong. Kenyon Andrews, running back Daquan Fields, fullback Troy Marshall, and that quarterback, that sophomore quarterback who can scramble and get out of the pocket really easily is Cody Young. And looking at their defense, it's a really strong side. I mean, they've been one of the top defenses in the league. Even though the points don't show and the record doesn't show, they're able to fast. They were able to shut down Michigan City pretty well besides those 21 points.
Yeah, that's one of the things that these teams, both these teams, maybe the record doesn't show that they've played the best, but, they've come out to play every single game. They don't give up. So that's one of the things that I'm kind of excited for to see in this game is, see which team has more of that dog in them, more of that fight.
So, and guys, I wanted to just bring this up real quick. So you look at these stats in the conference and overall. Overall, LaPorte has scored 46 points this year. They've given up 255. Avery, you talked about Portage and how they can run the football. Portage has scored 108 points this year and given up 266. So Portage has scored some points.
They've been able to like get around the good defenses when they really need to, and they've scored. They were up against Hammond Morton 23-7 in the third quarter. The only thing is they turned it over way too much. They had too many fumbles at one time, and they were all returned for touchdowns. So they just minimized those little mistakes. They're able to stay close with Chesterton scoring 31 and losing 31-35 and then only losing 21-20 against Lake Central. So they've really been able to stay close with top-tier teams.
Yeah, and you talk about that Lake Central game versus Portage. That's one of the games they pulled them in the sectional, so I'm going to be looking forward to that game for sure in 2 weeks.
That is a good point. 35-31 loss to Chesterton. They lose to Lake Central by a point, 21-20. So they have been good close games with middle-tier teams.
Let's take a look at the coaching staff of the Portage Indians. They're coached by Rodon Richards, who just moved to the Portage Indians from the Michigan City Wolves assistant coaching role under Phil Mason. He started at East Chicago in 1994, went to Hammond Morton in 1999, and took a year off in between and was the assistant coach for the Michigan City Wolves after 2014. They've been outscored 108 to 266. Like you said earlier, it's been 364 days since they've won a game.
Do you know what, guys? I'll tell you something just a little bit historically. When you look back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, it was literally brutal to go to Portage and try to win. They ruled the DAC. They were extremely tough at home. And LaPorte has had similar success. When LaPorte went to state, a few years ago, both of these teams were very competitive.
They definitely both have their history. Portage also had Craig Bazia as their head coach for a long time as well, and now he's over at Crown Point really rocking the world.
Yeah, Crown Point right now 8-0. But to get back a little bit into this game, Portage, looking really solid. They're going to do the coin toss right now. But really just a solid group overall, and we're going to see, how they can perform tonight with this adversity that they're facing starting the season 0-7.
Talking a little bit about Portage's quarterback, number 12, Cody Young, has the ability to scramble when he's pressured, but the wide receivers are really struggling to catch the pass. He had a .524 completion percentage against Valpo last week. He went 11 for 21. He threw for 120 yards and ran for 21 yards.
Some of the schemes, that they like to run is they are very run-heavy offense. 56% of the time they run, 44% of the time they pass. They're usually in the trips formation when in 20% of the time they, like their run-and-shoot offense, their run-and-gun. One thing that's kind of been holding them back, though, is last week they had 4 fumbles, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, and then completed that off with 6 penalties. So that's, one of the things that's kind of, ruining them a little bit.
Let's take a quick look around the league as we just got told that Portage will defer. They won the toss and will defer. LaPorte will receive. Maryville takes on Chesterton. Maryville 6-2. Chesterton's 2-6. Maryville also landed Munster in their first round of sectionals, and Chesterton pulled Valpo in their first round of sectionals. Chesterton is in the same sectional as LaPorte and Michigan City,
as well as Valpo. Going into Valpo's game, they're 6-2, 5-1 in the DAC. Coached by Bill Marshall, they'll be versing the Lake Central Indians. They lost at Crown Point in their biggest game of the year, 19-14, and they're coming off a win against Portage last week, 42-6. We'll see how they figure in this game against Lake Central, but they are versing Chesterton in the sectional.
Lake Central is 4-4, 3-3 in the conference, coached by Richard Good, who is 11-17 in his third year overall. He's 29-29, a perfect 500 in his 6th year overall. He's 5th in the DAC. They are still on that win one, lose one pattern, which is actually obviously a 500% year, which I'll take any day of the week. They beat Portage 17-12, and they beat Portage 21-20, and they beat LaPorte 17-12.
And then to go into our last matchup, Michigan City 5-3 on the year, tied for 3rd in the DAC. They broke their lost 1-1-2, lost 2-1-2 pattern against LaPorte last week. Their new old head coach, Phil Mason, went to Griffith. Cody French is their new head coach, 5-3 in his first year with the school overall. And they got their only shutout is against Maryville. They scored only 7 points against Valpo, and they've been outscored 167-133.
As we get ready for kickoff, they're trying to find a dry ball here. Kelly Hay is back to receive for LaPorte. And they're moving up around the 15. It's John Lane on the other side of Kelly Hay.
We're going to see how Lake Central fares in this. Starting off the game last week against Valpo with an onside kick, actually.
Alan Rosas back to kick for Portage, and we are underway. It's football night in LaPorte. Hay takes the kick. He's going to try to find the middle. To the 40, he finds a hole. To the 50. He's got one guy to beat. He beats him with the speed. To
Kelly
the 20,
Hay.
the 10. Kelly Hay with a kickoff return touchdown for the LaPorte Slicers.
Wow, what a great start to get off.
Showtime. What a great play. You can't ask for anything better. This is exactly what LaPorte needs to battle back from that 35-0 loss last week, and you're only looking ahead right now.
Kelly Hay with a huge return, an 80-yard return from the 20. What a great way to start for LaPorte.
What an amazing way. They're going to come out and kick this field goal, and, they'll be up if they make it 7-0, and you can't ask for a better way to start that game.
No, you really can't. That's a huge momentum. You don't have to bring the offense on the field. You immediately put Portage down by points, and then LaPorte will be on defense to start the game.
And that's one of the things that I think that they really do like to do is start on defense. They've never really tried to receive a kick. They've always deferred. So I think they really do enjoy starting on defense and trying to set that tone.
Jack Doty coming back from injury, back to kick the field goal. Kai Jones with the hole, and then it gets blocked. No good. Just like that, though, LaPorte on the board, 6-0, leading the Portage Indians. And there's a break on the field. We're going to take a quick break as well. You're watching LaPorte football on LaPorte Slicer Network.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. we see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Fans, welcome back to Slicer Network. LaPorte leads the Portage Indians 6-0 with an 80-yard kickoff return by Kelly Hay.
Jack,
Really got outside, on that play and had nobody near him. He made that cut right about in front of us around the 50. Once he got to the 40, he was gone.
yeah, one thing to talk about there is straight up the blocking. The blocking on that was so good. A lot of those players, getting back out, getting back and then just finding a player and going out to hit him. This is when you talk about the weather. This is football weather to me.
Josiah Mabin back to return the kick for Portage. Jack Doty back to kick for LaPorte. As we get the second kickoff underway, 2 plays into the game. Kick is away and caught around the 1-yard line, stays in, and is going to have a return. Mabin up the middle, tries to find a hole, but Lucas Del Rio takes him down around the 20-yard line.
Lucas Del Rio right there being able to, swallow him up. He's one of these marquee players for this LaPorte defense.
Referee picks the ball up. He's about ready to mark it around the 20-yard line. Portage sends in their drive football. The kicking ball goes back to LaPorte's side. Portage will just have it over the 20, 11:41 in the first quarter.
1st and 10 at the 21. And, what do you expect from Portage, especially when they got kind of smacked in the mouth?
Well, you got to try to get it back, I feel like. Or you just play your pace, play your game, say we'll get those 6 points back later.
A pitch to the outside, run up the middle, finds a little bit of a hole, gets around 3. It'll be 2nd and 7, ball in the 24.
That's Marcus Nobles on the carry for Portage.
Really good play right there by the Indians to kind of try switch it up. That's one of the things that they've done a lot this year is that little flip out run play, and I like that little flick.
Young able to read for Nobles, and Nobles with a decent gain to start the drive for Portage. 2nd and 6 at the 25. Young handoff up the middle. It's Mabin, and he gets taken down, swallowed up by the LaPorte D-line.
Mabin, the leading rusher on the years for Portage. He has 408 yards rushing this year.
It'll be 3rd and 2, ball on the 29.
Really good play by the Slicers right there to, not let him get past that D-line and kind of just swallow him up right where he was.
Portage sending in their game plan. Trying to draw something up. See if they can pick up this first down. Only needing 2. Handoff up the middle, it's Mabin. He picks up the first down and some, gets around 6 to 7. Ball's down at the 36-yard line. That's good enough for a Portage first down.
And we know by looking at them on tape, they like to run that counter back to the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, it's almost like a jet sweep, but not from that far out of the field. It's like the flank position jet sweep, so not like almost lined up right behind that left tackle or right tackle. And that's one of the things that I've seen a lot on them is they like that motion play. They like to motion, so if LaPorte doesn't get intimidated by it, then they should be sitting pretty for this.
1st and 10, another handoff to Mabin, goes around the right side, gets a couple blockers, gets around 8 before he gets taken down out of bounds. Ball's down at the 44-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Really good pickup right there for Mabin, and they're showing that he's got the conditioning to run this ball.
Darius Hurd on the tackle for LaPorte, forced him out of bounds.
Darius Hurt actually is coming back from an injury. He was on concussion protocol last week. That's why he did not play against the Wolves.
And that's a huge loss for LaPorte, especially what he's done this year. LaPorte looking like they're going to run a 4-4 Handoff up the middle from Maben again. He gets hit right away, but gets through the line. Gets around 5 on the play, and that'll be good enough for a Portage first down.
And
let's look at the weights of the O-line for Portage because of how big they are.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Avery, because they got some beef down there, dude. We're lucky they weren't in the buffet line this afternoon at the high school cafeteria.
Well, going from left tackle to right guard, it's going to be Christian Parlow, 260 at left tackle, Gavin Amendez, 270 at left guard, Richard Vega, 275, then Elijah Soria, 270, then right tackle Xavier Anderson, 325.
Fakes to Maben. Young throws deep, and it's caught. And there is a flag on the play. It's to Jaden Roberts. Was battling with Darius Hurt, and it looks like it will be coming back here.
Really good pass right there.
Pass interference
Being able
against
to
the offense.
Air it out. It's going to come back.
Look at this play.
Really good shot of that right here.
A little bit of a push-off. Tries to shred him a little bit.
Yeah,
a little too handsy.
Boy, and with that camera angle, guys, you can really see how hard it's raining and how hard it is to look up and see that ball with water coming in your eyes.
Really good catch, but at the same time, you can't have almost any contact when you're going for that. You can't push.
Yeah, I mean, great call by that head linesman over there. Way to see it. Darius Hurt knew it right away. He was shaking his head yes when he saw the flag, and he said, yeah, that's offensive pass interference. It'll be first and long, ball in the 34, handoff up the middle, and tries to bounce around and finally gets taken down. It looks like it was Marcus Nobles on the carry.
A few slicers on that tackle right there. One of them, Kai Jones, he's someone that's been battling a little bit of injury this year, and then Javel Broom, he's been really good for us all year.
Interesting to see Portage throw that deep ball. You know what I mean? Show you some different looks early in the game. Hey, we're not going to run on every down.
Yeah, I mean, and the first ones to throw in general, just to say, they're not scared. Second and long, handoff up the middle, and it was Troy Marshall with the carry.
LaPorte being able to kind of bottleneck that right there, not really letting them get anything on that play. And, keeping them in a third and a highway.
Marshall rushed for 136 yards on the year, 5 carries. He's got, 38 carries for 136 yards. He's averaging 3.6 per carry.
Really good averages out there for a Marshall. You're trying to get above 3 yards.
3rd and 18 on the 41. Young looks, drops back, and gets sacked in the backfield. A huge hit. And it is
Malachi Washington
with Sam Pressler also back there.
Boy, and Malachi came right through that B gap, dude, and just pushed Portage's O-lineman straight backward and makes that play.
Yeah, like you just said, pushing him straight back. We got a really good shot of that. No blocking right there from that lineman, barely even any, and I'm sure he's going to like that matchup all night.
Isaiah Frisbee with the missed block. Malachi just gets right past him and untouched and gets the sack. It'll be 4th and long. It looks like they're going to go for it, but, yeah, there is a punt. And
that's going to be a procedure penalty all the way.
False start on the offense, and a lot of miscommunication there. Backs up 5 yards.
I think Maben had a problem hearing because he just kind of took off, and then he actually ran across the line of scrimmage even before the ball was thought about being snapped.
Yeah, and he just took off, looked back, and go, oh, the ball's not snapped.
A little miscommunication there to start off on this drive.
4th and 21. And the punt is away after almost getting blocked. Hay with the return, and he's going to let it roll past him as Portage will down the ball around after a huge roll, a really good roll around the 12-yard line, and LaPorte will start their drive.
Really good punt right there from the punter.
62 yards on that punt, guys.
Daquan Fields was the punter on that, and
that punt was 62 yards.
Really,
yeah, it was a great roll too.
Yeah,
it was a great roll.
Oh yeah, that's what you're aiming for. And then Kelly Hay couldn't even pick that up, because if he picks that up, that's like you got three players running right at you.
1st and 10 from the 12. A first look at Drew Flores and the LaPorte offense. A run up the middle is John Lane. Gets a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Ball in the 15.
Nothing really coming out of that run right there for the Slicers, but you did see almost like a new formation for the Slicers right there with like that twin split backfield.
2nd and 8. Lane's got 25.4 yards per game. Another handoff to Lane once again, and kind of gets nowhere. The middle of the O-line is just not working. A gain of 1, it'll be 3rd and 7. Ball in the 16.
Well, Portage is big on that D line, man. If you look down there at number 8, number 61, those are big boys down there. 63, those guys they're packing some muscle down there.
John Lane on the year has 45 carries with 178 yards, and he's one of the backs that kind of started the year, but Trey Bechtel kind of came into his form near the middle and kind of going to the end, and I like the usage on both of them because they really are like a two-headed dragon in that backfield.
John Lane also coming back from an injury from last year and able to prove himself that he's still going strong. Snap to Flores. He rolls to the left and gets taken down in the backfield. There's a fumble on the play, and it is recovered by LaPorte.
Boy, and that was great pursuit from Portage from the left side.
Deegan Mason right there was the one on that fumble recovery. He pushed the defender that would have actually got there right out of the way, and just a really good play from Deegan Mason just to even get the ball back right there, because if not, they're 5 yards away from the goal.
It'll be 4th and long. Jack Doty back to punt from his own end zone, and he's way deep. He's back to the line at this point.
Yeah, he's as deep as you can get. He's 9 yards into the end zone.
Malachi Washington moving up to the line. Doty gets the snap and is almost hit. A deep punt, and it goes over the returner's head. And another great roll. The wind is really helping these punters.
That's a 54-yard punt from Doty from 9 yards deep in the end zone.
Yeah, really.
Great punt.
A great roll as well. Ball down at the 40-yard line, and Portage has their second chance of the night.
You come to Kiwanis Field, you're going to get great punts. That's something that, is a saying here, I guess, now. It's 62-yarder, a 54-yarder, so you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, the punters are getting a nice roll. They're getting 12, 13 yards
help
on a roll. Hey, you take it counts.
Yeah, at this point. 1st and 10 at the 40. Portage's second offensive drive of the game. Maven in motion. Snap to Young, handoff up the middle. And a huge hit up the middle. And a host of slicers take him down.
Really good play to drive him back right there by the Slicers.
Daquan Fields carried for Portage on the play.
Nice carry also by Fields.
That's 3 or 4 different running backs and fullbacks that are carrying the ball. They're really mixing up the type of running backs they've got in the back.
Well, with this weather, you want to keep them fresh. You want to keep them agile because, you might have to run the ball quite a bit.
Handoff up the middle once again. And he's going to get to the 50.
Yeah, he looks close to the first down. That was Daquan Fields again.
They are
going to
call it first down. 1st and 10 for Portage. Fields once again.
Fields bustling up right there. And he's one of the guys, he actually used to play D-end for the Indians.
2 carries for Fields, 10 yards on 2 carries.
Good start for the Portage second offensive drive. It'll be 1st and 10 at the halfway mark. Maben in motion, takes the handoff, goes to the right side, tries to get taken down finally, slammed down after a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6, ball on the 46.
Boy, Maben is a hard runner, dude. You see him. He is a workhorse when he gets outside.
Yeah, we have a really good replay right here, and he just gets past a few slices, and you can't really give him any of that room. Kyle Friel with the suplex slam right there, looking like a WWE star.
Malachi almost got him, but a really key block from the Portage's offensive line.
Yeah, really good blocking right now from both teams, you could say.
The run game in the works. It'll be 2nd and 7 on the 47. Maben in motion. Young takes a snap, handoff up the middle. Looks like it's Fields, and a gain of 5, a late flag on the play. And we'll have to see what this one is. It'll be a face mask on the defense. Looks like it's an incidental face mask, but either way, it'll give Portage a first down.
One thing that Portage is doing right now that if it's not in the game plan for the Slicers, then, I mean, you don't know what... this has got to be in the scouting report, their pistol formation offense. That's one of the things they are motioning and then they're handing it, or they're motioning and handing it to the running back. So you got to try find a way to shut this down right now.
Incidental face mask on the defense. It was confirmed 5-yard penalty from the end of the run and resulted in a Portage first down. Young takes a snap, drops back, looks deep, and it's picked off by Kelly Hay.
Kelly Hay, the playmaker right now for the Slicers.
He got up and he took that one in, and it was attended to a deep wide receiver, and they're calling an incomplete pass.
We have a replay right here of the pass.
Calling it incomplete. Let's see.
Young. Look at this.
And it looks caught.
Yeah, it looks caught from our camera.
It never touched the ground.
Yeah, he had it on his leg.
They might want to come up to the booth and check that.
Yeah, get a little check in there, Avery. You're a ref. Send it down to the field.
And sped up. Look at this one more time. Timeout LaPorte.
Total catch on that replay. I mean, the ball didn't even come near the ground.
As long as it doesn't touch the ground, he's fine.
It's on his chest.
That's an interception.
Which to be fair, it seems like the play. Back judge called it a catch, but
the white hat said no.
Yeah, the white hat called it no.
Tell us about that, Avery. You're the official. Can the referee overrule that call?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, after talking with the officiating crew, if they decide then it's no, then that's.
Well,
the signal is gonna come from the white hat.
Okay, but let's talk about what we always hear about. Did the guy have possession? But in this case, the ball never gets near the ground. He lands on the ground.
He has it on his kneecap
he's
the whole
cuddling
time.
That ball like
We're
going to
see another piece of that right here. And
does the ball hit the ground? He bobbles it there.
Bobbles it.
He bobbles it.
Stays on his knee.
But it never hits the ground.
He can as long as it doesn't touch the ground, he doesn't have to come down with possession.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't touch the ground, and he's not in the end zone, so I guess they couldn't call it like touchback or something like that. But
back to the field, 2nd and 10. Young drops back, looks again, and it's way overthrown. It's incomplete.
More importantly, let's talk about them camera operators upstairs.
Oh,
yeah.
Riley Dietz and Emily Hunt with that shot. Dude, that was a nice shot.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
Really proved that was an interception.
Yeah. The rookies.
2nd and 10. Yeah, they're rookies.
Yeah, first year in the class.
They're doing a great job.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing a great job this year.
Just really good from both of them. Emily's helped us on every single game this year. Hopefully she'll help us on a lot of the basketball games. Same with Riley, obviously. But, you just thank both of them for helping us.
3rd and 10. Another man in motion to the outside. It's Maben. He's going to stiff arm, but it's not going to get him too far. He does get thrown a little forward and thrown out of bounds finally. And it'll be a gain of 4. It'll be 4th down and 6. Ball on the 34.
And Darius Hurt getting to the outside there with real energy.
Yeah, Darius Hurt. Jack Borelli was the one kind of whipping him around a little bit. He actually was the one that stepped in for Hurt whenever he was injured last week. But Borelli kind of using that bigger stature to whip around Maben.
Borelli's a sophomore. He's 6 foot, way taller than me, and 175 pounds, so a really fast and big guy. Maben in motion, a handoff. And up the middle, it'll be short. It'll be a turnover on downs.
It was Isaiah Patterson who carried for Portage.
So So that's 4 different running backs and 2 drives for the Indians.
It'll be a turnover on downs. First down, LaPorte.
And that was good fate right there, guys, because LaPorte should have had the ball, inside the 5 on that pick.
Line, yeah.
So LaPorte doesn't get scored on there, and it just kind of worked out the way it kind of should have. Our
football
crew
guys
tonight
make it
is
right.
Riley Dietz on camera, Emily Hunt on camera, Nathan Collins with us tonight, Mitchell Moss is directing the program, and this is a good football game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I bet a lot of people are actually stunned, but, these teams are really wanting this win, especially since they need another one going into sectionals. Handoff up the middle, it's Bechtel. And a gain of 2, 2nd and 8, ball in the 31.
Kelly, can we talk a little bit about Kelly Hay? 2 really great plays for him to start off this game. Obviously, couldn't get it. It'll go down as a deflection instead of an interception. But still, just 2 really good plays. And then obviously the first play of the game, that kickoff return that went for about 80 yards.
Yeah, no question about it. He runs the opening kickoff back. He makes that play. They seem very inspired, and you got to give the coaching staff credit for that.
Using them in the right ways. It's 2nd and 8, ball in the 31. Flores takes a snap, keeps it, and tries to run on the outside and gets absolutely smoked by one of the Portage D linemen. It's Jair Pleasant on the tackle.
Only a little gain for LaPorte. They're going to have to try get, at least into 4-down territory right here. You got to get at least to 37.
They don't really have any intention of running another play here.
Yeah, they don't need to run one. We got 3 seconds left and 18 on the play clock. Coming back to the second quarter, it'll be 3rd down and 8 on the 31. There's a break on the field. We're going to take a break as well. You're watching LaPorte football on LaPorte Slicer Network.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA. This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Fans, welcome back to Slicer Network, and it's a sack in the backfield. Flores taken down immediately. We couldn't even get back on air, and that D-line got right through the
That
line.
D-line so fast we couldn't even get back on the air.
Yeah, looking like had Tyreek Hill speed on that.
Got right through the line. It'll be 4th and long, and a huge loss for LaPorte after a really good defensive stand.
It's very evident with this weather being so troublesome. This is going to be – points are going to come at a minimum. You know what I mean? When you can get some points, hold on to them because it's going to be tough to score.
Doty back to the punt, and we're
Flag.
going to have an automatic first down. Doty is down and hurt. A huge punt. It was an over an 80-yard punt, and both players are hurt. They are shaken up, but it'll be an automatic first down for LaPorte.
Doty getting back up, being able to walk off the field, but the Portage Indian player right there, he's looking a little beat up right now. His player's trying to pull him up, trying to just get him off the field, and the LaPorte coaches, it does not look good right now.
Doty came back from a sprained ankle on his kicking foot last week. And
Guys, that punt tracked 69 yards.
that was a huge punt.
Yeah, really good punt right there. Amante Quarles on the hit that hit Doty, and it looks like he's standing up, so that's a good sign.
Here's the call. Personal foul, roughing the punter. On the defense, it'll be a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
That's a
here
huge play for LaPorte.
Yeah, that's obviously going to give them maybe not like the momentum that they want, but it'll definitely give them a
new chance.
A big chance, and it'll it'll give Drew Flores some more reps to get in there.
And Jack Doty's definitely saying to his offense, you better make this one count. because that one hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
guys get a number on the Portage player who's getting carried off the field. Do we have a number on him?
Number 13, Amante Quarles.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
He's favoring his right foot or both feet. Is he holding both feet up in the air? It
trying
looks
to
like his
get-
right foot is
trying to
off
get-
the
Right
ground.
foot, yeah.
Yeah, really good sign of sportsmanship there. The LaPorte coach just ran straight out to him. I mean, obviously he checked on his guy Jack Doty, but then he literally ran straight out to
Yeah,
Quarles.
this LaPorte training staff is really good.
You know, both these teams have a bunch of class, which is like great respect to both of them. 1st and 10 after the penalty at the 38. Flores takes a snap, handoff to Bechtel. And he drops the ball, and it'll be recovered by LaPorte.
Boy, so difficult for LaPorte to run along that right side tonight.
Yeah, that right side. The right side of the line is going to be Broden McKeon and Deegan Mason over there on that side, and it's just going to be tough. Maybe slippage a little bit. Maybe this D line is getting off a little quick. They got some high motor guys right now on that D line, like Mason Cruz and Everett McClelland. So they're both really good.
It'll be 2nd and long. 2nd and 13 to be exact on the 35. Flores alone in the backfield. He drops a quick pass, and it's blocked.
Boy, that was a nice play by Kallenbacher to get his arm up and block that pass. Quick play by LaPorte, get the ball out of the backfield quickly, but Kallenbacher comes in and makes a big play for the Indians.
That's one of those plays that LaPorte has kind of ran all year. And one thing that you see on this sideline is Aiden Penzel, the sophomore QB that started the year. He's actually in the huddle with Drew Flores, and the coach is getting the plays. So he's obviously trying to learn and trying to improve. So hopefully he can come back next year and be better and just keep improving.
3rd and 13 after the blocked pass. Kallenbacher with that blocked pass. Like you said earlier, I mean, he's a big and strong guy. He'll get right through the line. Flores with a running back. Looks to the right, scrambles, tries to find a hole. Is going to have to escape, and he doesn't. He fumbles the ball, and it's going to be recovered by... There's a mad scramble for it, and it looks like it's recovered by
LaPorte says they have it.
It's going to be
a huge loss on the play.
call from the ref.
Jaquire Pleasant again, the deep player for Portage. He comes in here, makes that big play.
Forces Flores back inside, and
Just taps it out.
Yeah, he knocked
there's
the ball
Too
out.
slippery.
someone behind.
A little bit too slippery, and they're going to say...
Fortunate that Portage didn't get that ball.
Joseph Raines from Portage also almost fell on it, and it just squeaked out from under him. Jack Doty once again back to punt for LaPorte, and it'll be a 4th and long. Let's see if he can get another one long and have it count this time. Low snap. Doty's punt is away. It'll bounce high, and it'll be recovered by a knee. It's like a fair catch, but not.
Yeah,
36-yard punt for Doty on the punt.
Adam Corba was the recipient of that punt with the little knee play.
Took a little knee catch.
It's like one of the
Like-
things.
It's too late for me to call a fair catch, but I'm not trying to get hit.
Yeah, that's like one of the things that you see like on the trick plays where they do like the fake knees, and like they
Like
just
in
take
the-
off running. Yeah,
Like on kickoffs and stuff.
yeah.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Portage's third possession.
Young, alone, pass to the left side. It's Andrews. And taken down after a gain of 14. That's good enough for a Portage first down.
Boy, and just a real nice play by Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews right there. That's one of the things that Portage has been able to really do well is get 12 plus on a lot of these pickups. That's one thing that they've kind of done a lot.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. He was actually a quarterback a couple times with switching with Young on the Portage offense, but obviously Young has taken that job and Andrews has taken the wide receiver job. Handoff up the middle and run into a brick wall, but still continues to drive. It'll be a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Ball on the 41.
And that's one of the things that Portage has been good with is, getting the different options open, getting the different run-pass options open, not really confining yourself to one thing. They've had 18 plays over 12-plus yards on their last game against Valpo, and that's one of the things that kind of just shows, how good they've been.
And that's pretty impressive against that Valpo D.
Handoff up the middle to the right side, bounces out, runs over one of the LaPorte defense players, and gets a nice Portage first down.
That's Daquan Fields again on that carry.
Daquan Fields just kind of bustling through. He hits you like a truck, it feels like. And he ran over Kelly Hay. He's been great this game, but couldn't get the stop right there, and it took a few more slicers to get him down.
Fields 6'2", 205 pounds. He's a one-cut back, gets vertical, and not really afraid of contact. He will catch the ball from time to time, especially when it's not pouring. And he's got, great speed. Handoff up the middle. It's Fields once again, and a gain of 2. LaPorte defense picked that one up real quick.
Kyle Friel was the one that had that main stop, kind of showing that blitz is an off-ball linebacker, but he's really been able to, kind of put pressure on the running backs throughout the whole season whenever he hasn't been.
Portage started this drive on their own 40. They're moving the football. I mean, we really haven't had either team sustain a drive. The only touchdown, of course, was the Hay 80-yard run back on the opening play.
It'll be 2nd and 8. A decent amount of time run off the clock in this drive as well. Young drops back, looks to pass to the left. It's caught and taken down by, it looks like, Kyle Friel, and it was Patterson with the reception.
Patterson, a really good gain right there. Wasn't able to get too much, but still, getting what you can right there. And I like that play design, that little, almost like an RPO bubble screen type play.
Portage does that quick out. They do that quick toss out of the backfield right away, and they've had some moderate success with it.
They're gonna have to get the ball out quick, especially with this weather and still rain and having everything being wet. It'll be 3rd and 6 on the 28. Young takes a snap, fake handoff, and nobody there where he threw it up the middle, and the receiver was down the sideline.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got to give Darius Hurt credit. He was all over that Portage receiver. There was nowhere for Portage to throw that ball.
Darius Hurt, again, really good player. I believe no player from the wide receiver from the DAC has even scored a touchdown on him this season yet, and that pass was actually intended to Keon.
And Cody Young was looking that way, and Darius was just on him.
Drops back, 4th down, and it is incomplete. It'll be a turnover on down. A great defensive stand for LaPorte.
And Cody Young throws that ball behind the receiver.
Yeah, well, you can't throw it. You can't give him that look room that you want to have right there, because if so, that's a suicide pass. You're just gonna have your player get blown up.
It's gonna be a huge momentum shift especially for LaPorte. They really need something to work into here. Maybe get some points on the board, at least 3. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 28.
The Slicers are going to run trips left on this.
Flores alongside a running back in the backfield. Flores all alone, takes a snap, tries to run up the middle, gets absolutely nowhere. Just that those lines just come in and there's no holes to be formed.
Well, it's like the D line is almost like pinching their D tackles, sending a linebacker up front, and then having their D ends contained, so you're filling all those gaps. But the problem with that is if Flores can get outside this pocket, or even just get up the middle with a little hole getting made, he's gonna have yardage. He's gonna have yardage there.
Portage with that 4-man front, 2 linebackers, and Austin, as you said, they're just filling that, especially that B gap. They're just filling it.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Trips left again for LaPorte. It's going to be a screen to Heinkel. Heinkel down low, and he gets tripped up and kind of slides a little bit at the end as well. It's going to be a loss of 5. It'll be 3rd and 14. Ball on the 24.
Quick pursuit by Portage on that play to not let that play develop into anything.
Yeah, a few really good corners and and safeties right there on that coverage.
if it's a dry field, I think Heinkel can almost stay up with that and maybe dig his cleats in, take a turn. But that little clip at the end, at the bottom of the foot, it just does not help with a wet field.
Well, Heinkel's definitely one of the shiftiest wide receivers in the DAC.
Flores drops back, gets sacked in the backfield. There's just no time for Drew Flores at all.
No, and that's a really good point you have to make. I mean, he had less than 2 seconds to get rid of that ball. The ball's wet. I mean, it's just when you're in these long third down 14s, they're very, very difficult.
Yeah, you definitely got to try give your QB some time to have that play develop and give him time to just get the ball even out of his hands. Even if it's not the best throw, you still have a chance.
Doty lined up at the 6-yard line for his attempt to punt, and there are flags. It'll be false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, and it'll still be 4th down. It'll be 4th and looks like around 23. Fourth and long. Punt is away. And a pretty decent roll is going to roll around the 39-yard line. A great punt for Jack Doty once again.
44 yards on that punt.
Really good punt right there from Jack Doty, and you kept him clean. Didn't get hit this time.
You got to give LaPorte's defense a lot of credit. This is Portage's 5th possession, and they've kept Portage away from the end zone.
Almost at this point, both defenses, just besides that kickoff return, it's been absolutely nothing. Nobody really moves. The only real drive that any team has had is that Portage drive that went down to around the 30-yard line, and Portage has gone for it on 4th down several times. 1st and 10 at the 40. Young in shotgun, handoff up the middle to the right side, gets taken down by Del Rio right away, a gain of 1. And it's Patterson with the carry, and he gets helped up.
Yeah, nice job by Lucas Del Rio getting out there quickly and not letting that play. Austin, you talked about Portage trying to get to the outside, and they cut off the lane there.
Del Rio right there. Now he's going to be a 4-year starter for the Slicers. Just been really good. Last year we saw him get incorporated into the run game a little bit in that wishbone or Lowry offense, as a lot of people call it. And that's one of the things that, he's so versatile, and he's just a really good player in general.
2nd and 9, ball in the 41. Maven in motion. Young takes the snap, but before he does, there are flags on the play. It looks like there was movement up front. Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down. Andrews gets the play from the Portage head coach, Richard Bondoin. And Bondoin looking for his first win as a head coach. 2nd and 14. Fake to Maven. Cut back up the middle. And doesn't get to the previous line, but we'll get 3.
Going to get wrapped up by a lot of Slicers. Sam Pressler, the homecoming king last week, and Javel Broom, one of the way bigger guys on this Slicers defense.
Looks like Patterson was on the carry. It'll be 3rd and 12. Ball in the 38.
Kenyon Andrews brings the play in for Portage. You got to think they're going to throw the ball here. I'd like to see LaPorte get some pressure.
Yeah, that's one of the things that LaPorte is going to need to do right here. They got Lucas Del Rio almost in a linebacker position coming off that edge.
Young.
Oh, ball's on the ground.
Ball's on the loose. And
Slicers
LaPorte
have it.
Will recover the fumble. A huge pressure situation. LaPorte forces the fumble from Young, and they will take over.
Lucas Del Rio right there coming off that edge, bringing that heat, and, just getting right through Malachi Washington on that right there, and the ball just pops out. Del Rio hops on it, and you can't ask for a better scenario if you're LaPorte.
Great teamwork by those guys to knock him down and get that ball.
Young absolutely got blown up by Washington and Del Rio, and a huge play for that LaPorte defense. Let's see if that momentum can carry on to their offense. Flores back with Bechtel. Flores takes a snap, slow snap, goes to Heinkel on the screen, and he gets a couple yardage, gets pushed out of bounds finally, and it'll be a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8, ball on the 27.
Yeah, and just 2.5 minutes left in the half, and huge for LaPorte if they could get a second score here.
Yeah, definitely going into half, and then they, get that. You don't get the ball back, so you don't have the opportunity to go up 3 scores, but really good play right there by Henkel. That's one of the plays that actually, kind of like carried them a little bit through that New Prairie game.
2nd and 8. Handoff up the middle to Bechtel, and is taken down almost immediately by Marcus Nobles. And a gain of around another 2. It'll be 3rd and 6 on the 25.
Bechtel right there trying to get as much as he can, but this D-line from the Indians is just swallowing up the O-line. Like, they need to try to find a remedy for it right now.
Taking a quick look at scores before this play, Valparaiso is up against Lake Central 21-0, and Maryville is up against Chesterton 14-7. Flores with Bechtel, Heinkel in motion. Flores passes, and it's a fumble. And Bechtel did not receive it. It'll be a fumble in the backfield recovered by the Indians.
It looked like there was a little confusion or miscommunication from LaPorte there.
Triple option play right there, and you got to be on the same page. You have to be on the same page if you're going to run that. You got Bechtel, and then you had Keegan Heinkel coming across the middle as a blocker. You just have to have that communication, especially in practice. That's where those plays are going to, get performed perfectly.
That's what their main mistake was against Michigan City is they had plays like that and just miscommunication whether Flores was going to pull back or not. And, the fumbles happened in the backfield. Michigan City actually returned one for a touchdown. It'll be 1st and 10 for Portage once again at the 30-yard line. Young takes a snap. Actually, it's not Young. It's a new QB. It's Jamari Duff.
Malachi Washington making his presence known in the backfield right now. Just getting through that line. He's loving his matchups right now. He's cooking up this team.
He really is. He's presenting multiple problems for Portage. They actually literally cannot block him.
Yeah, he's just like walking through their line. It's bread and butter right now.
Young is out. Jamari Duff is now in at QB. He's a sophomore, 6 foot, 180 pounds. New QB in the middle of a second quarter can be brutal. 1 minute to go here in the first half. It'll be 2nd and long. Maben in motion. He'll take the handoff, and there will be a flag on the play as Maben finally gets taken down by a host of slicers. The flag is in the backfield around the 26-yard line. It will be moved up around the 28-yard line. It'll be a hold on Portage.
That's going to move them back a little bit here. Seems like Portage, with them just running the ball, it seems like they aren't going to try and get a touchdown here, or they're just going to pray for a breakout run. Darius Hurt is going to come in right now for Cam Neal, the junior D-back. That's 5'9", 140.
Ball's down around the 18-yard line after the penalty. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, 2nd and 23. So a big play for LaPorte to contain this and maybe get the ball back. Maybe use a couple of their timeouts.
I mean, they still got 2, so definitely could use it.
Duffy takes a snap pass, and it's almost picked, but it's caught. Roberts gets taken down after a huge play. Ball's down at the 44-yard line. A massive momentum changer for Portage.
And a real nice play by Portage. Get that ball out quick and let Roberts use his athleticism.
Yeah, let him try to get at it. Let him use his speed almost even to get there. And then R.J. Corns and Lucas Del Rio being able to get to him is going to be a really, really skillful duo that was able to take him down.
After the Duff to Roberts play for over 20 yards, Portage will take their first timeout of the half at 38.6 left here in the first half. And, a really low-scoring game so far. What did you guys expect?
But it's been a good game, and we knew the weather was going to slow it down, and they're going to run the football a lot when you're in a torrential downpour. But I've enjoyed the game so far. It's been a good game.
They've been able to move the ball around a little bit, a lot more than I expected, even with the short passes and everything. And it really ran the clock down. It's gone fast so far.
It has gone fast, Avery. That's a good point, really, because we haven't been out here that long, and we're already only 38 seconds away from halftime.
Yeah, a lot of these players, trying to get under the towel also, trying to keep their hands dry. And Malachi Washington is just kind of slippery right now also. He's one of those guys that's going to, keep putting pressure on him.
Young back in the game, a pass to the left side to Mabin, and it looks like Javel Broom was beat on the coverage but able to catch up to make the tackle on Mabin. Ball's down at the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Portage, a 12-yard gain, and another timeout.
And a real nice pass there from Young. I mean, he just threw that ball out wide, and he allowed Mabin to run underneath it.
Yeah, only 31 seconds, so they're going to need to get this pass game, out and about right now. And, really good play design right now to get them out towards the sides of the sidelines.
Smart game plans for both sides, especially with this rain coming on. You can't really pass it as much, but Portage has still been able to stick with the pass game a lot more than I thought originally.
Well, they have, and they've had some success with it. They've had 4 or 5 plays for probably more than 10 yards. They're throwing the ball. They've had some mishaps for sure, but very difficult to handle that ball in this weather.
Yeah, for sure. You can't ask for much of a pass game in this one because how tough it's going to be to even get anything started. So you try to get them out towards the sidelines. You do your 5-yard outs. Maybe you throw a corner route in there and see if your quarterback can throw that. Just to get a little bit more yardage if you want.
1st and 10 after the Young to Mabin pass. Motion. Young looks deep, and it's going to be short, and it's going to be incomplete.
And I thought it was a good no call by the ref back there to not call. Little incidental contact, but not pass interference.
Jack Borelli was the one that was on the coverage, and Kelly Hay was also back there. Seemed like they had 2 post routes almost.
Portage not afraid to take those deep shots, even with the weather, and they have been kind of all half.
Cody Young throws a nice ball too. He throws a nice ball in this weather.
Yeah, he's got a nice spiral on it, so you can't hate the kid for it. He's really throwing nice balls.
Second and 10, Young to Mabin, a high pass. Mabin gets up, and a run to
great
the
catch.
outside, and goes out of bounds. It was knocked out by Kelly Hay.
And there is a flag down on the play, I think, but I don't see it.
Yeah, there's a flag on the 31-yard line.
Right now, as it stands, it's 17 seconds left.
It's going to be a
hold
holding on
Portage.
Portage.
Boy,
That's
that
a
hurt.
huge break.
Yeah, that hurt.
Really
Turns
big.
a 12-yard gain into a 10-yard loss.
The clock will not run if the penalty is declined, which I don't think it would be declined. I believe LaPorte has the option to run the clock or not, but I could be wrong. Holding on the offense, it'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul since it was up in front of the previous line of scrimmage, and it will be 2nd down and 11.
If you just joined us, Kelly Hay took the ensuing kickoff, the opening kickoff of the game, 80 yards for a touchdown. The only score, Slicers lead at 6-0 on the kickoff. The point after was no good, and ever since, the team's still battling here. Portage with it, 2nd and 10, 17 seconds left.
Young takes a snap, quick pass to Mabin. He tries to find a hole in the coverage of LaPorte, and looks like Portage will call another timeout. It will be a 1st down for Portage. They're going to hurry up to the line, try to get this one in, at least to spike it. The clock has not run yet. It starts, and it will be a spike by Cody Young. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Really, I wouldn't say pretty spike right there. He kind of just threw it down, but it gets the job done. Only 6 seconds left on this play. If they have a solid field goal kicker, they could get that.
they're looking at intentional grounding here because of how long it took them and the type of throw it was. So we could see a flag up here. It will be 2nd and 10.
A little bit of a discussion.
What
Looks
are they
like
talking about here, Avery, do you
intentional
think?
grounding.
How could it be intentional grounding on a spiked ball when he's standing in the pocket?
Well, the way he was throwing, and you have to be outside
Yeah, you have
the
to be
pocket
outside the
throw.
tackles.
And
To have
you-
a.
And the way he threw it was not
Like-
pretty.
No, it wasn't pretty, but I've never seen an intentional grounding call on a spiked ball.
Well, because usually for a spike, they just go
You
under
throw it-
center and
you
they
s-
just throw it
Yeah,
down.
you have to throw it straight down, but he
He kinda-
obviously
he
did
kinda
not. He kind of
tossed
just
it,
tossed it
yeah.
up front.
Well, I feel like
But
I
it
mean,
looks
you
like
can call
they
the
are
running
adding
back close
they are
enough.
adding time. They added a minute and 30. I'm sure that's too much.
A little bit, I would say.
And
a little
they've
bit too
now
much.
added 120. That's also too much.
We're getting there.
We're just going to start a countdown of 20 seconds.
Just wait. They just gotta wait in like a minute 10. Oh,
Yeah,
Now
eight-
they're
that-
eight
that's
to-
very
eight
that's
seconds.
that's more accurate
Yeah,
for
they're-
sure.
Yeah.
He spiked that ball with about 8 seconds left.
yeah. Took him a little bit of time.
Smart to add those seconds, especially since Portage has that timeout. And speaking of timeouts, LaPorte's going to take a timeout. There's a timeout on the field. We're going to take a timeout as well. How many times can I say timeout in one sentence? We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet.
And fans, welcome back to Slicer Network. Young takes a snap, a pass to the outside. It's bobbled around by like 3 people. The clock will stop, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
2 seconds left. 2.7. I mean, if you have a kicker,
You have a
you can-
timeout.
yeah, you can try to get it, but I mean, this is gonna be the last play of the drive for sure.
Timeout for Portage. Let's take a look at the scores one more time before this halftime show. Valparaiso is still up 21-0, and they've scored all 21 in the first quarter. And Maryville is still up 14-7 against Chesterton. Maryville scored 7 in each quarter, and Chesterton scored in their first quarter as well. Chesterton and Maryville are at halftime. Some crucial and close games for sure.
Yeah, a lot of really good games coming down to it. Trying to seize the moment, get a little bit of momentum. A lot of these seniors, I'm sure, are just going to try to get the win last regular season game for all these teams. So, yeah, for sure.
Lake Central also takes on Portage in the first round of the sectional in 2 weeks. You know, New Prairie has actually got Hobart, which will be a good matchup next week.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely going to be a really good one.
Back to the action here at 3rd and 10. Young
Last
is
play
by
for sure of the
himself.
first half, unless there's a flag.
Young throws deep for the end zone. A jump ball knocked away. No flags. That'll be the end of the half. After the first half, LaPorte leads the Portage Indians 6-0.
And then another thing that we are seeing, right now is a lot of these players, getting there. A lot of these fans even just trying to stay dry. We got a guy in a cone. The
Oh, we even got weather graphics. Look at that.
It's a wet one out here.
52
Come on for
degrees,
you.
93% humidity. Feels like 52, but it's 83 in Palm Beach, Florida.
I wish we were there.
You know, it'd be a whole lot nicer, but like 82 is almost too hot.
Oh no, that's perfect weather. I love even Miami. The Dolphins, Tyreek Hill. What, you can't love anything more. That's
He couldn't go a whole broadcast without saying that.
Tyreek
Right?
Hill, yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're at
Yeah.
halftime at LaPorte. We're glad to have you with us on the Slicer Network. We got a good one. LaPorte 6, Portage nothing. We'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA. Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA. Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Fans, welcome back to LaPorte Slicer Network as there's 3:40 left here at halftime. Your score, LaPorte 6, Portage 0. You know, what have you seen so far, especially with the LaPorte offense?
Oh, I've seen a lot of pretty good stuff from them. They've been able to, try and get this run game established. Haven't really been able to get it to work, super nicely how they want it, but they're kind of trying to air it out a little bit. And we'll see if they can make some adjustments going into the second half.
Especially from the stat side, they've had that one large kickoff return and then really nothing else.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to get, the best of the Portage defense, but this is going to be a defensive game, especially, you talk about the weather. So, it's going to be a defensive game. It's going to be a tough one.
And especially with their run game, they try. The most thing is they try to communicate. They try to do that option, but it's really been a bunch of miscommunications and fumbles all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of miscommunications, a few fumbles on these, and a few of these coaches getting a little mad. But that's gonna be something that's gonna happen in these close games.
It really shows passion, especially with this LaPorte team. And one of the big things is those mistakes are costing those yards, and especially when they have good chances, especially on that first down, that automatic first down on that roughing the punter, they really couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, can't really get anything going. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be something that you're gonna have to get figured out. But this team is gonna come back onto the field right now, and hopefully they've Coach Ebel has talked some sense to them and gotten some new philosophy in them.
A new game plan as well, maybe change some stuff up, especially on the run game, especially with what they've been able to establish and what they haven't been. But looking at the Portage side, they've been strong overall. They've had one probably one of the only more powerful drives of the whole game between the two teams. They had maybe an 80-yard drive, got stopped around the 30-yard line, and just turned it over.
Yeah, that's some of the things that they need to figure out is these turnovers and just getting stopped in general. You know, they've had 2 fourth down plays where they've been getting stopped. So hopefully, you know, they can come back and, you know, convert those.
You know, they've had some large plays as well. They've got a pretty good amount of yardage, as actually Drew Flores and Aiden Penzel are warming up on the sideline, so we could have a new quarterback later in the game. But, you know, the only bad thing is about Portage is they're blocking on the backside. Cody Young got absolutely blindsided on one of the passing plays and was actually out for a couple plays on the next drive.
Yeah, Cody Young, he's one of those players that is going to try to get up after every play, obviously. But, yeah, and Malachi Washington is one of those guys that's been getting through pretty easily in this defense. And then, obviously, they've had a lot of pressure from Sam Pressler, Drew Oss, and then that one really big sack that resulted in the fumble with Lucas Del Rio.
That D-line of LaPorte has really been standing strong, especially for the LaPorte offense, really backing them up. And, you know, it's been a huge offensive game, obviously, with the weather. You kind of expect that. And, you know, what do you expect for Portage to change about their first half?
Well, one thing that they're definitely going to need to change is they've been able to get the run game going. They've been able to get the passing game going even a little bit near the end there. But one of the things that I would like to see them, you know, try get at is their red zone offense. Their red zone offense hasn't been good. They've turned it over quite a few times. They've gotten sacked quite a few times. So that's one of the things that, you know, they're going to need to get done.
Now, from the LaPorte aspect, their offense has been struggling. Their run game has been struggling. Fortunately, they have that 80-yard kickoff return by Kelly Hay. What do you expect to see that they change?
Well, you got to get your offense started. And a lot of that Portage offensive struggle in the red zone can be accredited to the LaPorte defense. But one of the things that, you know, you got to start for LaPorte is you got to start that run game. You got to get it good. You got to get everything, you know, you got to get your holes open. You got to get that, especially that right side of the line. Broden McKee and Deegan Mason, they're both really good players, so hopefully they can get something tuned up in the second half.
Let's take a look around the DAC as the Valparaiso Vikings and the Lake Central Indians have come back from halftime and now into the third quarter as the Valparaiso Vikings take a more of a commanding lead of 27-0. You know, that's going to be a brutal momentum stopper for Lake Central, especially after coming with a win-loss pattern, staying 500 all year, and now they're going to lose big to Valparaiso.
Yeah, and Valpo, that's obviously going to be a big one going into Chesterton. Chesterton right now is down 7-14 against Maryville, and both these teams, you know, trying to gain a little momentum. Maryville trying to edge out Michigan City for third place in the DAC also.
Maryville does have the tiebreaker in the DAC, and you know, they've had a strong year as well. They've outscored their opponents 142-81 in the conference, 213 and 106 in their overall year. But if you talk about outscoring, Crown Point almost had 300 points on the year.
Yeah, they're really cooking up this DAC. They're 8-0 on the year, 6-0 in the DAC, and really trying to, you know, get their final and last win on the season this week.
You know, we've got a top-tier matchup in the southern side of the state between Center Grove and Cathedral. You know, Center Grove number 1 in the state, Cathedral number 7. You know,
both these teams have been at the top of the Indiana for the past few years. A lot of these are really good games. I know you went to go see them last year, especially in playoffs. You went to a lot of those games. So, you know, a lot of these teams that you're going to see again in playoffs will, you know, be featured in the regular season, and they all have really good matchups for this last week.
You know, you look at those top-tier matchups, like you said, and you always wonder how how big of a difference is it? And we're looking at the score now, and it's really close. It's Center Grove 45, Cathedral 38 in the fourth quarter. A very high-scoring game.
Yeah, really high scoring. Both these teams also have excellent defense, but the thing is, it's just like you're trying to fight, and your defense is going to let up with how good these offenses are. So, that's going to be one of the tougher things.
We'll keep an eye on that game as it gets real interesting with 2 minutes to go. And Cathedral just scored a touchdown to put them at 38. Going back to LaPorte here, it's 6-0 LaPorte against the 0-8 Portage Indians. Again, LaPorte 1-7 only win against New Prairie, 20-18 here on week 1. Watch that back on Slicer Network. That was a heck of a game.
Yeah, really good game. Iconic calls coming out of that game from Avery Wilma. Really good plays from the sophomore quarterback, Aiden Penzel, even though he isn't getting the start in this game or in the second half. But, sometimes you need that veteran QB, that veteran legacy.
Here we go to start the second half of the final regular season game. Jack Doty back to kick, and will put that one in the end zone for a LaPorte touchback.
Really good kickoff right there from Jack Doty. Being able to even get it in the touchback is really good.
And Portage, after a 15-minute halftime, goes back on the field. Something smells good here in the press box. Don't know what it is, but it's making me hungry.
I think Don Varda actually has a hot dog.
And he does have a hot dog, rubbed it in my face.
What condiments you got on that thing?
He's got to have, ketchup or mustard.
Oh, ketchup,
something.
mustard, maybe a little relish. Take the over-under on how many condiments. Over under 2.5.
I got the under for sure.
I got the over.
Ball on the 20-yard line after the touchback. Maben in motion, and we got flags. And we're going to have movement on Portage. Full start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. And just like that, Portage is 5 yards back.
That's a really good break for the Slicers to even get that type of thing on first down. It's going to be really good and, start them ahead on the sticks.
1st and 15, ball on the 20. Young is back in for Portage. Maben in motion. Young is not in anymore. A handoff up the middle. And gain of 7. Duff is back in quarterback now. It'll be 2nd and 8. That huge hit from Lucas Del Rio and Malachi Washington really knocked Young.
Yeah, really, really good hit. Almost like a wildcat formation for them in that, but they're still running the regular plays. And this game is getting a little bit chippy. Someone actually pushed Sam after the whistle was blown, but ref didn't see it.
Handoff up the middle, around the outside. Maben on the carry. A gain of, looks like 10. That'll be good enough for a Portage first down.
Really good pickup right there for the Indians right there to get a first down. Just pretty solid running right now from the Indians to establish.
1st and 10. Maben in motion, handoff up the middle. And there's absolutely nothing there. It's Fields on the carry and a huge stop by the LaPorte D-line.
R.J. Carnes right there, one of the main tacklers in that with a lot of those D-linemen, and then also Kyle Friel.
It'll be 2nd and 10 after the huge stop by the LaPorte defense. Ball in the 32.
I feel like Portage has shown a lot of athleticism tonight, and I think you've got to give LaPorte a lot of credit for keeping them out of the end zone. They have some good players.
I feel like if the weather was different, feel like Portage would be passing a lot more. Duff drops back. A deep ball, and it's actually caught by Kelly Hay this time, and it will count to the 40. A huge return, and it gets hit out of bounds. And a little scruffle here on the LaPorte sideline. They're getting into each other's faces, and finally gets pushed back. A huge interception by Kelly Hay, and just like that, LaPorte starts with the ball in both quarters, essentially.
Boy, and you got to imagine, if LaPorte could come in here and score a touchdown off of this, that would be huge. Long pass downfield, and Hay just runs right underneath the ball. Makes a great athletic play and a nice turn, and it goes all the way back inside Portage territory. Ball marked at the 34-yard line.
Fields with the hit out of bounds on Kelly and tries to kind of stand over him. Here we go, 1st and 10 for LaPorte. Handoff up the middle, and it's John Lane, and he's not going to go anywhere. A huge stop by the Portage D-line of Everett McKellen.
A lot of speed on that interception too to get it back to where Portage was even at, and it's good that Fields caught up to him, because if he would have not got that, then that might have been another touchdown for Kelly Hay.
Just a question to you guys, since you track the hallway. Is Jack Doty going to play college football? He's just done a nice job here punting and kicking tonight. He's been a good kicker for LaPorte. What's the word in the street?
I think he's been to camps of like the Dallas Cowboys and everybody. Penzel drops back, looks, throws across, and it'll be 3rd and 4. After that throw, Aiden Penzel was hit.
Yeah, big hit right there on to Penzel. But one thing that they're doing is getting the sophomore back in. They're, going to give him a little bit of practice. And they're up right now, so, he's got the motivation. He's got the hunger for it right now. And that also frees up Drew Flores to get back on wide receiver.
It also looks like Drew Flores, that quarterback just type of style for him was not working. So they'll give the ball to Aiden Penzel. And he gets lit up again after a pass, but a lot sooner than the last one. It'll be 4th down and 4. Ball on the 28.
Everett
and it looks like the field goal.
Knocked him on his back, the 6', 220-pound DN for Portage. Big pressure.
Looks like the field goal unit will come on as Jack Doty will try to make this a 2-score game.
And this is a big kick, because if he makes this, it is a 2-score game, and that's huge tonight. Portage hasn't scored yet tonight. This would be a huge 45-yard field goal if Doty could nail this.
Doty back for the field goal. The 3 on the jersey. Can he put the 3 on the board? The kick is up, and it's blocked. The ball is loose.
Portage didn't even.
It is a live ball.
Portage wasn't even aware they could pick that ball up. They just stood there and looked at it.
And a huge return after the blocked field goal. It's Jadea Bird with the return.
Jack Doty
with the
was
tackle.
the one that was actually able to push him out of bounds, but no one knew that they could even get that.
They just stared at that ball on the ground.
Yeah, they're like,
no whistles.
Well, everybody thought it was dead, which for a PAT it is. But
it wasn't a PAT. It was a field goal.
Yeah,
I know you know that,
but
that's a live ball. Had they picked that ball up 2 seconds earlier, it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, then you're in the end zone. That goes from almost 3 points
and
for the Slicers to 6. Yeah, to 6 for
How did they not
Indians.
know that?
One thing that's important here is the Indians able to convert on this drive, though.
One of the biggest drives of the game. A handoff up the middle from Duff. It's Maben on the carry. A gain of 1, 2nd and 9, ball on the 42.
Both these teams now switching out their starting quarterback for the backup. For both these teams, Drew Flores going to Aiden Penzel, and then obviously Young going to Duff.
Cody Young was still shaken up from that one hit from Malachi and Lucas Del Rio in the first half, and obviously he has not recovered yet.
Yeah, hopefully not under any concussion sort of protocol or anything.
Looked like it was a shot to the ribs. Maben's
going to get outside.
He's going to try to get around.
Good tackle.
Way to contain by the LaPorte defense.
Maben has just been close a couple times, dude, from breaking one wide open.
Yeah. And
Malachi Washington on the tackle.
That's one of the things that you're going to have to kind of watch out for as this LaPorte defense wears down a little bit. You kind of need to make sure that they aren't going to get – they have the conditioning for that.
It'll be 3rd and 2 on the 35. Duff with Fields in the backfield. Maben in motion. Handoff to Fields. Can he get around? He cannot get the first down. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 4th and 3. Ball on the 36.
And no question about it, Portage hasn't punted all night. They're going for this.
Yeah, this is 4-down territory for them like it has been all night. And actually their punter is Cody Young, so they almost don't even have the option to with him being out of the game.
It'll be 4th and 3. This is where the plays are made.
It's a huge advantage for LaPorte not to have Cody Young in there.
Yeah.
They are a different team with him at quarterback.
Young was able to scramble when he was pressured against City. That's how they were able to make a lot of plays against that really good defensive City. Handoff to Maben around the right side. LaPorte able to stay home, and he will get the first down, a gain of 5. Kelly Hay actually gets juked, but Kai Jones and Kyle Friel will make the tackle. Ball brought to the 30-yard line. That's good enough for a Portage
And a
first down.
smart play call by Portage. Give the ball to your athlete, Josiah Maben. Let him get outside. Let him make an athletic play.
Yeah, he's one of those playmakers that they have. And whenever it's 4th and 3, in the sectional, what player are you going to go to now? You know that works almost even. So, you can go to those plays even later on in the year.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Portage trying to put up at least 6. A handoff to the left side, and it gets taken down by Kai Jones. Correction, Darius Hurt came in and used his speed.
Darius Hurt, big hit on the play right there.
And
Really
Isaiah
making sure
Patterson
nothing
kind
got
of paused for a second. He ran outside, and then he tried to do a little stunt pause play, and they caught on to it.
I think he tried to find a hole, and it was not there. That D-line of LaPorte has filled those holes all night.
And that's something LaPorte's been good at all year, is filling, A-B gap. Or even, not letting them get around the tackles.
2 in motion. Duff takes a snap and run up the middle, and it's Maben again, taken down by Javel Broom, who shows great sportsmanship alongside Kai Jones.
Helping the player get up. That's one of the things you love to see in football, because it is about, everyone that's on the field, not one side of it. So, everyone, you can have that respect for each side.
And when this ball game is one play away from being tied. It's been such a close game the entire night. The only score, the kickoff run back, first play of the game. No one else has scored.
Yeah.
Not even a PAT. 3rd and 7, ball on the 26. Duff takes it up the middle after faking to Maben. He's going to try to push for a first down, and forward progress has been stopped. It'll be 4th and 2.
Getting a little scrappy right there in the backfield for a few players. Maben getting there a little bit.
Duff is actually going to be off the field. His helmet came off. Portage doesn't have a quarterback on one of the most key plays of this entire game.
Well, they're going to bring somebody in because they're going to have to get real creative.
It looks like Wyatt Biggs is looking to come in, number 10, who is a senior. He's originally a wide receiver, and he's 6'2", 170 pounds. Portage has to call a timeout here in the 3rd quarter because of this no quarterback situation to see what they need to do.
And that's a good point, Avery. They were really kind of caught off guard there. They really didn't know who to send in on that play. And you kind of think about, could they use some of those athletes and try to run, the Wildcat or something and directly snap it to a back?
Yeah, get maybe a direct snap in. That's probably going to be your best bet. I would say, get some Wildcat, or even have, Kenyon Andrews take the snap.
Kenyon Andrews he was a Wildcat quarterback, ran out of the Wildcat formation, and he starts at wide receiver. That's also another option that Portage has here.
Yeah, maybe, or, if you want to try to do something a little scrappy, they're going to actually put Cody Young in.
Cody Young back in the game.
Portage calls a timeout so they can burn the no play for Cody Young.
Jaden Roberts slotted to the right. They'll hand it off. No go.
And there is no gain in the play. Stopped at the line, a loss of 1. It'll be a turnover on downs. First down, LaPorte.
You got to be inspired by LaPorte, dude. Those guys that came here to play inspired football tonight, they're playing hard.
A lot of motivation going into this week. I'm sure Epple preached it to them all week. Have fun. This is your last regular season game. Not your last game here at home, but it's going to be it's a big one. for sure.
A win would be huge for both these teams. You obviously don't want to end the season winless, but you also don't want to end the season with only one win.
Yeah, and honestly, both these teams, it's one play. It's striking distance for both of these teams to get it back in the game or a little bit more out of reach.
1st and 10, Penzel back at QB. He drops back, looks across the middle, and it's wide of Drew Flores. It'll be 2nd and 10 on the 25.
Boy, and Penzel got popped on that play after he threw that ball.
3 plays right there for Penzel, and he's gotten hit every single play. If you're this O-line, you got to look out for your QB's health.
O-line was doing not terrible. They're honestly doing pretty good at least for their season in the first half, but they've kind of come out flat here in the second.
And on that play, Drew Flores just kind of tried to sit down, found the space in the defense, and Penzel obviously wanted him to kind of keep going and hit him in stride.
Another wide pass by Penzel, and it's just the passing game is not working at all.
Tayshawn Hayes, dude, had his eyes on that ball, number 1 for Portage, and he was just about a step away from taking that thing in for a pick 6.
He read that very well as well.
He did.
Really good. Almost a wild pass kind of saved him right there, because if he would have had that connection, then
it would have been a connection to the Portage Indians.
You don't want to get picked off right there, especially with it being this close to, your own goal line. You're on the 25 on your own side.
It'll be 3rd and 10.
Basketball on grass, Purdue formation, 5 wideouts. Quick out.
Penzel with a pass. He gets away. It's Drew Flores down the sideline to the 50. He's got 2 to beat. And he will get taken out of bounds around the 25-yard line. A huge play for LaPorte. And they finally get some momentum on the offensive side of the ball. Let's take a look at this replay.
Aiden Penzel getting set. And, he's just going to get it really quick. We got that sped up right there. And he just breaks the tackles, got him slipping off, got a little help from the weather. And in pursuit, that is Lathan Mister. And then also Jedediah Bird on there. That was actually the one to push him out. But, that's really good play design from the slicer. It works. That's the XQB, Drew Flores.
44 yards on the play.
Puts LaPorte in positive yardage on offense. And that will take away 2. Another quick screen, and they just read that immediately.
Yeah, I think it was incomplete.
It will be incomplete, actually.
Dawson Shreve was the intended target for the Slicers.
Maybe thrown a little bit too high, and a wet ball doesn't really help things.
Yeah. Your gloves aren't sticking as good as they are right now, as good as they are in practice or any other game.
Penzel trying to make a name for himself, trying to come back as QB, as I'm sure he wants to play against sectionals.
Yeah, you want to try play. You want to get the experience.
The rain is coming down harder than it has been all night, and the battle is on. Penzel drops back, looks deep to the pass, Flores, and it's incomplete.
Solid coverage right there from the Portage defender, and a good decision right there just to get the ball out of bounds and get it on target. Obviously targeted for Drew Flores.
Marcus Nobles on D for Portage there, as you said, Austin, just absolutely covered the receiver.
Yeah, really good. We're going to see Penzel come back with the play call.
3rd and 10. It is drenching out there.
Yeah, it's pouring.
These fans are weathering the storm for this LaPorte team. And these are like Portage diehard fans. They got to be.
These are diehard fans, bro.
Everyone out here. Penzel looks and is taken down in the backfield. And there's just nobody there. There's no help from the O-line.
Well, and with this rain, dude, everything gets incrementally harder to do.
And you got to be glad that you have turf on this field. You got to be glad it's not grass and mud. Because if so,
you'd have a mud fest at this
and
point.
It must be a great draining system, you guys, because when we got here at 4:30, this field was absolutely soaked on the sidelines.
It was a pool on LaPorte's sideline. It'll be 4th and 14. Jack Doty back to punt around the 48-yard line. The ball is away. It's going to be a sky kick into the light and a really bad bounce. They got to
the,
get
the
that.
worst bounce Doty's had all night because he's had some great bounces, but he pins Portage inside their 20.
Yeah, really, really good punt, I would say, for Doty. But even though he had that bad bounce, it still pins him within the 20.
Jack Borelli, actually, with the punt recover. And, when he slid in, I think it was Javel Broom who called him safe.
Nice little baseball play right there. A lot of these players are also on the baseball team. Kai Jones, Thomas Hill. A few of these guys are really good athletes and play multiple sports.
Our camera operators tonight are Riley Diltz, Emily Hunt, and Nathan Collins. Mitchell Moss directing the program tonight.
A snap, and the ball is just going to slip out of everybody.
Right through the hands of Roberts.
Yeah, Jaden Roberts right there, trying to catch it, get the ball around, but like the gloves, you don't have that extra grip, so it's all hand strength right now.
And he's possibly thinking about getting hit, too, He's
Yeah,
going
Yeah.
to get hit as soon as he gets that ball.
Yeah, you got to be nervous a little bit about that, but, like you guys said, a lot of these fans are hardcore fans. You see all the Portage people. If I'm any of these fans, I'm going to the car, and I'm watching the Slicer Network broadcast.
Jamari Duff back in at quarterback now again for Portage. Portage slots 2 receivers out. Duff alone in the backfield. Man in motion. Fakes a handoff. Duff's going to keep it.
Duffer on the outside. Drags a couple players with him.
He's close to a first down.
He will. He picked it up. Gain of 11. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Portage Indians at the 30-yard line.
Kyle Friel is the guy that was dragging, actually. And a few of these Portage players slow to get up. Kenyon Andrews, one of the guys that is kind of slow to get up. He's actually going to go off the field and get a sub.
Javel Broom coming in with the defensive play. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Portage. This weather's really reminded me of the Bears' home opener in week 1 last year.
Nathan Collins out squeegeeing our window. Do you think you could get Walma to do that?
Never.
Never.
No.
Absolutely
There's
not.
no chance. That's what you get the rookies for. That's the rookie job.
The rookie powers.
Marty, you always talk about paying your dues. That's a dude that needs to get paid right there.
That's a dedicated player there, dude.
Yeah, that's hard work. That's some extra credit points for sure.
Nathan picking it up for us, man.
Thank you.
It's getting hard to see through the window.
Yeah, rain's coming down.
The thing is, he's about done with our window, and I already cannot see anymore.
He's already done with our window.
So he's got to make a trip back.
whenever he
2nd
comes
and
back,
8 on the 32. Duff takes the snap, handoff up the middle. I feel like they've thrown out the pass game already. And a gain of around 2. It'll be 4th and 5.
as Avery Walma gestures Nathan to get the window again. Can't have enough, can you, Avery?
You got to be able to see a little bit. The officials talking over something. I'm sure they're laughing about the rain, as we do have
Mitchell Moss with his weather graphic
weather
popping
graphic.
on. As soon as we look at it, he takes it off the screen. Very good.
You know
Nice
what
timing.
you're doing. You know what you're doing, Mitchell.
I think it has a chance of rain. By chance, it might rain.
Oh, yeah. I think
Hand
there's
off up the middle, and they will get the first down. A gain of 7. 1st and 10 for Portage at the 42.
Yeah, and another really good run from Portage. Daquan Fields on that carry and just making it happen. It's so funny about this game, you guys, because it's been such a physical battle, and the game is still just a one-score game.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter, 6-0 LaPorte. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 42. Duff takes the handoff to the left side and gets around 8 to the 50-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2. It was Marcus Nobles on the carry.
clock winding down, only 30 seconds left in the half. They do not need to take a play if they don't want to.
Play clock and game clock separated by maybe 1 to 2 seconds. But they do, you're right, they do not have to run a play here.
A lot of these players kind of wondering, and it looks like they aren't going to take a play. They're just going to send it to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Wow, we've played 3 at LaPorte. LaPorte 6, Portage nothing. LaPorte takes the opening kickoff, and that's the only score we've had tonight, gentlemen.
A defensive battle for sure. That's almost the only thing you can say about it, but a lot of these players probably going to be a little bit reluctant to get out of the rain.
And you got to give Portage credit, too. They're fighting hard. Both teams playing inspired ball here tonight.
It's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a tough battle here in the fourth quarter. One score separates. We're going to take a quick break here on the Slicer Network. You're watching LaPorte football on LaPorte Slicer Network.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Fans, welcome back to Slicer Network here in beautiful but really rainy and wet Kiwanis Field, where it's been really a dog match. 6-0 here in LaPorte.
Honestly, you guys, with all the games we've done over the last couple years, I really believe this is the biggest rain game we've ever done, except for maybe that Crown Point monsoon game.
Yeah, I mean, half the time I can't see through the window, so I'm using a computer that's in front of me. Handoff up the middle, and it's Fields. Can he pick up the first down? No, just a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 49, and it's really pouring here tonight.
Fields is only a sophomore, 210 pounds, 6'3", good athlete.
Yeah, really good athlete. You'll see him back actually in Portage next year against the Slicers, so sadly won't be on the Slicer Network. But Kyle Friel in that pursuit and almost flipped Fields upside down, so that's 210 pounds going on your back and flipping him.
Kyle's done an excellent job, as many of those players have. He's a great student, great player. LaPorte's just played really well here tonight.
Kyle Friel is, probably pound for pound the strongest guy on this LaPorte defense.
Maben with the handoff up the middle. He will get the first down. It'll be a gain of 3. It'll be 1st and 10 for Portage. Ball on the 46. Time actually might be your friend if you're Portage.
Well, and the other thing you mentioned earlier, Avery, this game, if Portage should score, it's going to come down to an extra point. Will they kick it? Will they go for 2? LaPorte missed their extra point when they ran the kickoff back. 6-0 game. Portage scores. We got a one-play game.
Yeah, I mean, at any point it could be a breakout run, a find a hole, or it could be a fumble recovery. You just never know right now, and everything makes a difference. A big pass down the field, Duffy, and there is a flag. We might have a pass interference.
Well, I mean, I think it is going to be a pass interference. I don't know if we have a replay on that, but man, let's just see. I don't know if do we have a replay available?
Really deep play right there. Didn't kind of expect it, but Kelly Hay looked like good coverage.
Darius hurt with the coverage.
Well, let's see what the official says. We're kind of getting
it is a pass
look
interference
at it
on the
here.
defense.
Let's watch this replay.
Let's take a look right here. Duff actually getting the action.
Let's see if we...
Kelly Hay with the coverage.
I mean...
It feels like Kelly Hay kind of just beats the ball to the spot.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
this, like overrun.
But let me ask you this. Does Kelly Hay have to look back at the ball?
Yeah, so
is that why it got called?
Yeah, that is a thing you have to...
Is that why it got called?
That's one of the main things that, as an official, you kind of look for. Like, if you're going to play the player, that's probably going to be called. If you're going to play the ball, that's a different story.
And he did not look back at the ball. Handoff up the middle, flag on the play there. Might have a hold on the Indians.
That might...
Yeah, it will be. It is coming back.
It might be the thing that gets Portage over the hump and gets them into the end zone right now.
I mean, that was great coverage on that play by LaPorte.
That was a great coverage, but if there's any contact and you're not looking back, it's going to be tough to not call that.
So that's going to move them back 10 yards, and a good call right there for the holding penalty.
Maben with the carry, and it will be a holding call, like you said, and a good break for LaPorte. First and 20 on the 39-yard line. 10:30 left to go. Duff drops back with pressure, and it is
right through the hands.
Right through the hands.
Jaden Roberts, the intended receiver.
Right there. almost had a tip drill to Kelly Hay, and he almost had another one.
And
Jack
that's
Borelli with the
two
coverage.
balls that Roberts has dropped. You have to catch that ball. I understand it's difficult, but the quarterback put that ball right in his hands.
Yeah.
That's been one of the main problems. Like, even it showed against Michigan City when Portage was at City, is there was a lot of good passes. Young was scrambling all over the place. He was hitting his receivers, but they were just dropping the balls. They were hitting off their chest or something like that.
I mean, you're only going to get a limited amount of possessions.
Duff drops back with pressure on the backside. Ball is up, and
What a try.
it is incomplete.
Was that Roberts again?
Yeah.
I believe so.
No.
Oh, no.
No, it was
It was
Maben.
Maben.
Maben, he's one of those backs that can catch the ball. We have a nice replay of this with the little flip from Duff. But
A great running pass.
What
by
an
Duff.
attempt by Maben that almost come down with that ball, and great D by LaPorte.
JaVale Broom getting there and being able to take him out. Kelly Hay was obviously, trying to learn from that mistake and play the ball right there. But JaVale Broom was able to be the one that actually kind of hit him and made him feel that pressure and him actually drop the ball.
It'll be 3rd and 20 on the 39. A huge set of downs for Portage here. Duff drops backs again. A deep pass. Kelly Hay knocks this one down, and there's no flag this time.
No, and he's looking back at the ball there and makes a great play.
Yeah, he tries to catch it. He plays more of the ball instead of the player, and that's what you kind of need.
That's a really good way to learn from your mistakes right there. And right here, almost the offensive player is going to have to play defense.
He kind of does.
Yeah,
He swats
you
it
gotta
away
try
from
to play
Kelly
defense.
Hay.
That's Roberts right there on the deflection, I would even say.
Which is
Good
smart.
Good point.
It's very smart for that wide receiver from Portage to end up playing defense.
They're going on
no
4th and 20.
surprise, they're going to go for it. And no, they're going to punt. Punt's caught around the 7-yard line. To the outside, it's Kelly Hay. Can he return
They
it?
got a corner.
He's got
room.
room. He's got one guy to beat. He's got now
He's
two
got
guys.
plenty of blocking.
Kelly Hay.
Broom with the block. Hey, to the 10. Did he step out of bounds?
Touchdown. No flags.
No flags. He did not step out of bounds. Kelly Hay into the end zone for LaPorte touchdown. His second punt and kick return of the game.
Wow, and what a run by Hay. And you talked about this, dude, earlier in the game. What a blocking scheme by LaPorte.
Yeah. I mean, it's unpredictable. Here we go. We got a really nice replay of this. Kelly Hay coming down to our side of the field, and he just has speed. Dude, he has so much speed. He's a baseball player also, one of the guys that we kind of mentioned. And
look at the blocking we have up
look
here.
at
All
that.
these
JaVale
players
Broom
hustle
getting there.
downfield, and he just outruns everybody.
And then Cam Neal, kind of running with him a little bit. So,
Good stuff.
Let's look at this. Let's look at this offensive lineup here. They've got an
Wildcat.
offsetting line. Flores to the outside. He's got blockers.
He's
Gonna
gonna
get in.
and a great tackle by Portage.
A good idea, but could not get in.
I kind of like that scheme.
Adam
I do
Corba
like that,
tackled him. Great play by Corba.
Yeah, really good play by Corba. He's the only guy that's stopping him there. If not, he's walking in for an extra 2 points. So, that's keeping it from being it's still going to be a 2-possession game, but if you get one field goal, then you're up.
2 scoring plays. Kelly Hay, a kickoff return for 80 yards, and now a punt return for 93 yards. That makes LaPorte up 12-0. What a game. And you would have not expect this type of LaPorte team to really excel on special teams, and that's about it.
I mean, Walma, you're dealing with odds all week with DraftKings. What are the odds of your only 2 scorers going to be on returns?
Oh my!
That
would be
less than 1%
that would be
odds.
insane.
And same player, too, for both of them, too. That's two special team returns. That's 12 fantasy points for your defense, So
Nice shot there, the LaPorte cheerleaders just getting absolutely drenched and trying to keep the spirit up. And you guys talked about this crowd here. These are diehard student body down there, man, getting drenched the entire time. Not even 30% using an umbrella. They're just taking the rain.
They are in ski suits. That is the theme tonight, and it actually probably helps for sure. And as the ball falls off the tee.
You got to think that score was just a backbreaker for Portage. I mean, that was a brutal, brutal backbreaker for them.
yeah,
The mental mindset just went bombing down.
They have to score on the next possession.
After you go from to the 30-yard line and then get called for a holding, you punt it away. I don't think you punt again or kick again ever again.
Oh yeah, no. You're kicking onside to the
to the
probably
sideline.
slowest guy, and you're just taking it.
Not
from
even
there.
that.
Yeah.
At this point, no. Kick is away, and it will be a touchback for Jack Doty once again.
Almost had it in. It
there's-
would have stayed in.
There's like some extracurricular stuff that happens after kind of the plays, and Portage kind of getting in their head. You know, they do have 2 players that are coming back from suspensions from the Michigan City game.
Well, there was some tempered attitudes at that Michigan City game. You were sending us updates on that. You know, this is an absolute critical drive for Portage. They need 2 touchdowns now. I mean, you know, you've got to score a touchdown and then score another touchdown in 9 minutes.
Which, I mean, they have the personnel to do it. They've been able to drive all night. It's just the only thing is that they've been getting stopped close. Their positive yardage is for nothing.
Duff throws deep. That's the best thing. Intended to Maben, but that's the best thing. They're not afraid to take those shots down deep.
Yeah, and a lot of them are, hitting the hands of the receivers or, getting close.
And great coverage again by LaPorte. LaPorte had two players on that Portage player, stride to stride, a nicely thrown ball. But man, the coverage has been good by LaPorte.
Yeah. To talk about that a little bit, LaPorte I feel like has Duff figured out. They have him bottled up. They know exactly what he's going to do. You got to give credit to the defensive coordinator.
There was double coverage on Maben when that ball was thrown deep, and it was tight coverage too, so there was really no room for him to go. Duff drops back once again. The quick pass, and it's
pick.
And
Is
it's
it pick?
incomplete.
Oh.
Almost
Was
pick.
that Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle Friel. Or
Kai Jones with almost the interception. He jumped on it after, but I believe it was almost picked by maybe Kyle Friel.
Yeah, I really couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Kai Jones is definitely down there. Portage now throwing the ball on every down. And guys, they pretty much have to.
yeah, I mean you got to come back. You don't have an extra quarter to do it. You got 9 minutes 37 seconds. That's the hard facts of it.
Yeah, and you just can't run the ball and let the clock run out. They need to
Yeah.
score quickly.
3rd and 10. Duff looks to the right, and it's a wide pass. It will be a forward pass. What do you do here? I mean, I don't think you punt. You've been scored on every time you've kicked.
Pass intended for.
And the punt
you
team
have,
is coming
you
out.
have to punt. I mean, you cannot try a 4th down and 10 at your own 20. That is a recipe for disaster.
That's almost asking for another.
That's asking for
score.
another 3
so
points.
you almost just kick it out of bounds. Like you can't give Kelly Hay the ball again.
Kelly Hay is around the 49-yard line.
It's gonna be the shortest return that you would have to make for a touchdown.
Their punter is not that far back.
And he's not that well protected. Oh, my. Almost blocked again.
By Lucas Del Rio.
And Kelly Hay will not even attempt. The ball is down around the 50-yard line after a sliding touch. It'll be 1st and 10 for LaPorte at the 50-yard line.
30-yard punt by Portage. LaPorte has the ball when we come back.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for
Fans, welcome back to Slicer Network. Just like that, Drew Flores takes a snap around the outside to the 40-yard line, gets hit out of bounds around the 41.
Nice
They're gonna
job
mark
by
it there.
Drew there. He tried to stay inbounds and fight that tackler off. Smart play by Drew Flores.
LaPorte Slicer's offense really cooking up right now.
Let's see if they call it a first down here. They are marking it at the 40-yard line, and they will call it a first down. The clock will stop for a little bit as the chains get reset. 1st and 10 for LaPorte, and the clock will stop because Drew Flores went out of bounds.
I'm going to see. It looks like they're taking Aiden Penzel out, so Drew Flores most likely will be the starter for the rest of this game.
Flores takes a snap, runs the other way.
He's got
tries to
room.
Find that room.
He's got room.
He's got a
Fight the
lot of
hole.
room.
He's got a key blocker up front. Tries to power through and gets taken down around the 16-yard line. That's good enough for another LaPorte first down on back-to-back plays.
24 yards on the play for Flores.
He does stay in bounds, so the clock will run after the chains get set, so they will dial down this clock for
Great
at least 40
replay here.
seconds.
You see him really accelerate at the end.
Drew Flores, another baseball player that we have on this team, and he's just, he's got that acceleration, got that speed. Almost gets past our cameraman, or camera woman, actually, Emily Hunt.
Impossible to get past Emily Hunt.
Too quick.
Oh, yeah.
1st and 10 at the 16. Drew Flores was he tried to power through the two defensive people for Portage and look like a bowling ball.
They're just staying with him, you guys. They're just staying with
Same
Flores.
play, 3 times
Same
in a
play,
row.
the other side.
Flores on the carry, no gain on the play.
Getting a little chippy down there. Tayshawn Haynes and Trey Beckville getting at it a little bit.
Haynes was smacking himself in the helmet for some reason.
Aiden Penzel is going to come in at quarterback, so it might be like they're trying to air it out. But Drew Flores is a little mad that he's coming out, it seems like.
Penzel in QB with Trey Bechtel. Trey Bechtel goes to the right side, just behind Penzel. Fake pass and hand off to Bechtel, and there is nothing that really happens there. No room to go.
Really not much of a gain if they got anything. Maybe no gain on the play.
So one of the things that is kind of interesting right now is the duality of number 10, Drew Flores, and number 18, Aiden Penzel, going in and out.
And there will be a timeout called for LaPorte. It'll be 3rd and 10 when we return. You're watching LaPorte football on LaPorte Slicer Network. Fans, welcome back to LaPorte Slicer Network. A quick look around the league. Valparaiso still leading Lake Central 27-0, and Maryville is up 28-7 against Chesterton. Back to this game, LaPorte leads 12-0 here in the 4th quarter, and Flores takes the snap around to the outside and stays in bounds. He gets down, so he stays in to keep that clock running, and it'll be 4th and around 6 at the 13.
Now, you wonder if you're going to bring Doty in here and try to go for a 15-0 lead, or if you're going to go on the ground and keep the clock running with a 4th and 7, and there's no sign of Doty coming on the field.
Well, I mean, Doty, he's had 3 opportunities to
And he missed
chip
them all.
in, and he hasn't been able to hit any of them. Obviously, that one that got returned for the Portage Indians, kind of a big gain right there, but yeah.
And another timeout called by LaPorte.
I think LaPorte had a little confusion on that last play because you could hear the coaches up here. They were calling for a different play to happen. I think there was some miscommunication on that last run.
Definitely a little bit of and that's one of the things that shows that the coaches actually genuinely care and they have good emotion. They've paid their emotion into this team. They want this team to win. They want this team to succeed.
And
let's talk about the sectional coming up, you guys, in a couple of weeks. Of course, we know that Michigan City and LaPorte will play again. Avery, Michigan City came in here and won that game handily. Does LaPorte have a fighting chance to win that game?
I mean, if you're on the field, you obviously have a fighting chance. If you're in it, you can win it. And, but they obviously have to make some improvements, learn from what happened last week, and go on from there. And hopefully it'll be a lot closer game, and LaPorte could possibly take it. And if you're Michigan City, you can always use the same game plan as last time and do what you did to split the LaPorte defense.
4,007, ball in the 13.
Flores takes a snap, finds
Cuts
a
back.
hole, tries to get the first down. He's way short.
Portage is going to take over on downs here. Going to try and mount a drive to get them back into this game. Only 6 minutes, 32 seconds left to go. Ball in the 11 is going to have to be an 89-yard drive.
Well, and let's be honest, you guys, they're going to need a big play. I mean,
Yeah.
they need a 50-plus
Gotta get a
yard
chunk
touchdown play. They
Gotta
got to
get a
get a
chunk
big
play.
play if they're going to get the ball back and score again, which is very, very difficult in these conditions.
LaPorte was able to run a pretty decent amount of time off the clock with their drive, though. I like over 2 minutes, I think almost 3.
Absolutely.
And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line for Portage. Duff drops back, rolls right, looks, quick slant, and he gets trucked out of bounds by Javel Broom.
Patterson on the reception. He's going to stay down.
Yeah, he's staying down.
And he
He's just
gets
got his
back
world
up.
rocked.
Yeah, definitely got the air taken out of him.
Some frustration from Trey Bechtel on the sideline here. You know, they really wanted to score on that drive. They really wanted to put this game away.
Well, I mean, you have that really good setup play for Drew Flores that he got that run, but then you stick to the same play a few times, it's going to get predictable.
It'll be 2nd and 3 on the 18. Duff rolls to the other side, throws, and it's dropped. And there is a flag on the play. It'll be a late hit on LaPorte. See if we can get a replay on this, but
It was almost like he couldn't even see if he caught the ball or not because it was just kind of in front of him and he was already coming. That's going to be hard to stop yourself.
Now, let's take a look at this replay of this, guys, and as we kind of work on it to get it back. We'll just take another second. But I thought, what did you think, Walma? I thought it was a difficult call.
They did call.
Was
they
it the
called
right
targeting.
call?
They called targeting.
Oh, okay, targeting with your helmet.
LaPorte.
On who? Kyle?
Head-to-head contact for sure on Javel.
Oh, yeah.
That is, he leaned with the crown of his helmet, and that is for sure head-to-head contact. It'll be a first down for Portage.
Good having a ref up in the press box, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's why I love commentating with this guy because he knows all the official terms. Maybe love is too strong of a word, I would say, for that.
First and 10 for Portage. The ball is kicked away. Is it caught?
It's a pick!
It's
Kelly
picked for
Hay!
LaPorte. First and 10 at the
Kelly
40-yard
Hay!
line. Kelly Hay with his second interception of the game.
It's about time Kelly Hay did something in this game.
Oh my
He's
God,
been all
did
over the
something.
place. Let's look at this replay. It gets kicked away.
Yeah, Javel Broom actually kicked it in the air. That's basketball. That's called kickball.
Definition of tip drill.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Hay has been all over that ball tonight,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Wow.
Kelly Hay.
And
It was an assisted interception from Javel Broom to
Oh,
Kelly
yeah.
Hay. And first and 10, a good chance for LaPorte to put this game away.
Javel actually, I don't even know how that's such a heads up play by Kelly Hay. That's so good. He's
Yeah,
been
the entire D, they tipped that ball up in the air. He has the, awareness to get to that ball and catch it. I mean, just a great play by LaPorte.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line. Kelly Hay with probably his best game of his career.
not even close to one of his best games. This is his best game of his career.
Drew Flores around the outside and gets hit out of bounds.
Uses the speed to get there. Gets 5 yards on the gain.
Trey Bechtel talking to one of the Portage players.
Might get a little chippy here. That's definitely not what you want if you want to see. If we're at the end of this game, only 5 minutes, 30 seconds left.
And you know what? I think LaPorte's done a nice job with that because I've seen some scuffles happening, and LaPorte is kind of laid back, and they've
Yeah.
been very smart, which is credit to your coaching staff.
Yeah.
Coaching staff is not going to tolerate that.
That's one of the things that they teach you even down to younger ages like Pop Warner. They teach you, something's happening, put your hands up, make sure the call's not on you.
It'll be a gain of around probably a loss of 1. It'll be 3rd and 7. Ball in
Yeah,
the
LaPorte can
37.
run 30 more seconds almost off of this play clock and snap this ball with under 5 minutes left in the game.
This is your clock management right now from the coaches.
3rd and 7 here on the 37. Penzel drops back, looks right, a pass, and Penzel was hit while it was thrown. And he was trying to find Drew Flores down the field.
Drew Flores kind of trying to get a pass interference call right there, but it just wasn't really catchable for him to get there, and it was kind of a duck thrown up, might have been tipped a little bit.
Walter Maben has been talking to this LaPorte sideline a whole bunch this whole game, and now he's on Trey Bechtel. Let's watch this here, down on the bottom of your screen.
Doty
Jack
puts
Doty
a
with a
big
good
high
punt.
kick, lands at the 12. Oh, it hits
Hey,
a Portage player.
Who's
We're gonna see
got
who's on it. LaPorte's
it's
on
a
it.
muff punt. LaPorte saying
it hit their player. Who has it?
LaPorte's on it, I
no
think.
signal yet.
Good punt.
Good punt overall for sure.
Gonna see how they
LaPorte
call
saying
it.
they had it, but it looks like it will
got
be
a
Portage's.
replay.
This was great. It hits the Portage player. He's not looking at the ball. Right
It
there.
does hit him
hits
right there. Who has it? A good camera work by our
That's a
crew, yeah.
That should be
that should be
LaPorte
LaPorte ball.
That hits Peisman Marshall.
It
And
looked like Joe Meyer was actually there to recover.
Was there?
it.
Oh, there was a penalty on the play. They're bringing the ball back out to
there
the
is
40
a flag.
to the 37-yard line.
It's gonna be a re-kick. Some of the coaches kind of don't really understand. Apple
Yeah, a lot
trying to
of
get
people
his guys
don't.
fired up though. So it looks like they're just gonna have a re-kick. Hopefully.
What? They're replaying
So they're
the down.
They're replaying it down. It looks like there was a penalty. They didn't even mark off the penalty. So here's a re-kick. How about that?
Sky kick.
Doty.
Doty is it's actually caught.
Kelly Hay.
It's caught this time.
Who makes the
And there's
tackle?
a flag on the play, a very late flag. This game is about to get chippy.
Yeah, this game is getting chippy. You can
Kelly
kinda
Hay
tell.
on the tackle, gentlemen.
Kelly Hay on the tackle.
Just know if, like,
Jack Borelli thought that it was a live ball, and he took it to the end zone. So
you gotta be
Touchdown.
smart here if you're LaPorte. You gotta stay disciplined. If you get tossed from this game, you don't play sectional.
let them put penalties against themselves. Let them ruin themselves in this game. Put it more out of reach for them.
And obviously, Portage needs everyone they can get on their squad.
Personal foul called against LaPorte.
Yeah, personal foul on LaPorte's gonna give the Portage Indians a little bit of room to work with.
And Avery, that'll give them 15 yards on that personal foul?
Yeah, from the end of the play, since it was after the play. It was a dead ball foul, so it'll be 15 yards from the end of the play. It'll be 1st and 10 for Portage. Ball in the 22, 1st and 10 for the Indians as they try to put up a quick 12 as fast as they can. Duff takes a snap, handoff to Maben. He goes to the outside, tries to cut back in. He should have not cut back in because there's a whole squad of LaPorte
and you
Slicers
guys,
right there.
you just can't run the ball there. I'm sorry. You can't run the ball and take 30 seconds off this clock. You have to throw that ball.
They have to
Yeah.
hurry up. They really need to hurry up.
You got to play your hurry-up game. It's almost like you have to play your 2-minute offense, but you still got 4 minutes left. It's just because you have to get 2 possessions in.
It's like they've kind of given up here. Second and 9 here on the 22. Correction, 23. Duff alone in the backfield with a guy in motion. He drops the ball. Who's got it?
Boy, that's a
LaPorte
hustle
might
play.
have it. It looks
LaPorte
like
may have
Lucas
it.
Del Rio might have the ball.
Great hustle play by
Still
LaPorte.
tugging at it. They're saying Portage has it. Lucas Del Rio comes up with it, but it's still Portage's
see.
ball.
Kai Jones is really mad right now
And the clock will stop. They're
They're-
calling an official timeout here.
to review this. A lot of these
There's
LaPorte
been
players
so
getting
much-
really mad.
There's been a lot of confusion on this officiating crew.
Yeah, a lot of close calls that maybe could go either way, maybe should have been called the other way.
It'll be a loss of 4. It'll be 3rd and long. And the clock is now running once again.
So they're going to say Portage retains possession.
Looked like Del Rio had the ball, but obviously we're 100 million yards away in third 2. Duff drops back, looks to the middle, and he's wide open. He drops it.
Boy, and they have dropped some passes tonight, guys, and that was another one. That ball has to be caught.
Wyatt Biggs was the intended receiver, and, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's not even, I mean, it's barely sprinkling out there now, but still the ball's going to be wet. I mean, but that's not an excuse. It's do or die right now, and they're kind of suffering.
And a very late flag on the play. It looks like someone said something. We'll see what we have here. If it's 15 yards against LaPorte, that's a first down. And it's not. It's unsportsmanlike conduct on the Portage. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. Might end up here half the distance, but we'll see if they go the full 15.
I mean, it's getting chippy. It's getting to that time of the game where, you know, you're kind of starting to see what these teams are, you know, made of, if they're going to bite back or if not. And it seems like Portage is really trying to make them fight back.
It is half the distance to the goal. It'll be fourth down. And a very long play.
Looks like the Slicers are going to be in cover 4 right here with one of the
I'd play
guys completely playing off ball.
prevent. Duff has time, throws, and it is not complete through the hands. He's hit from behind. It'll be a turnover on downs. First down, LaPorte. Ball's down at the 9-yard line. It'll be first and goal.
JaVale Broom with that big hit, but one of the players
he's played well tonight, you guys. He's made some big hits tonight and he's played well.
They do have a Portage player down as Jaden Roberts, who's down, who actually took the hit. But, you know, you got to give credit. LaPorte's pitching a shutout.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's been, you know, really good. That's one of the things that the Slicers haven't been able to do all year. But, I mean, JaVale Broom, he's been really good in this game. He's the one that had that breakup on that ball that Maben caught. And, you know, just been really good this game.
See what LaPorte does here. I'm sure they're going to run with Drew Flores, and they do run to the outside where everybody is, and he actually kind of gets hit high. But it'll be a gain of 2. It'll be second and goal on the 7.
Solid play right there. Drift right play. And, you know, that's one of the things they're just going to try to inch their way to this goal line.
2:27 here in our last regular season game. Fans, we appreciate you so much for sticking around. Slicer Network has been going on for 6 years. Don Varda, you've been here for all 6.
Well, you know, I'm glad you thanked our fans because we have a lot of fans and our numbers are up, and I appreciate everybody. You know, you got people coming out here, you know, helping all the time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Flores on the carry, gets around the outside, gets to the 5. You know, it's Austin and I's our last regular season game that we're going to have. I don't know if we're doing sectionals yet or not. Ball's down at the 5-yard line. And we want to thank everybody. I've been around here for 4, Austin for 3. Obviously, Varda was 6, and it's been a great year.
Well, and don't forget, you know, Mitchell Moss coming out here, helping us out in the classroom, doing a great job with IT, always working on keeping our graphics up. We have Riley and Emily upstairs. Nathan's here outside doing the windows. I mean, we've had Andrew Nelson, a lot of contribution from a lot of people.
A lot of really good guys helping out today, some great people.
Portage will take a timeout with 1:16 left here in the fourth quarter. And, you know, again, it's been a great time of year. It's the best time of year that you can look forward to, especially during the summer. You're thinking, what can I implement in these football games? And, you know, what's our plan for it? And you always look forward to these nights.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's just kind of been great in general. You know, me looking forward to it, and for these past 3 years. It's just been great. Getting my start actually broadcasting the Portage game with you 2 years ago. That wasn't live even.
3rd and goal. Flores takes a snap, kind of dances in the backfield, gets taken down for a loss of 3. It'll be 4th and goal at the 8 with a minute to go. LaPorte leading the Portage Indians 12-0. And, overall thoughts of this game?
I'm glad LaPorte, like you guys said early in the pregame, nice for them to pick up their second win. They've battled the whole year. They beat New Prairie in the opener in an incredible game that none of us thought they were going to win. Then they come back and they battle and battle and battle, and they come here tonight and get their second win. And that's definitely helpful for their momentum going into the sectional.
Flores takes a snap, handoff up the middle, will be a turnover on downs. John Lane with the carry and a gain of 2. It'll be 1st and 10 for Portage with 26.8 left in the 4th quarter. In Austin, defensive battle for sure.
Yeah, only touchdowns are on special teams. Both of them coming from Kelly Hay. Two interceptions and a few deflections as well. He's been a really good player for the Slicers all night. But yeah, it's defense all night for both these teams.
And you got to give credit to the lines, dude. This offensive line for LaPorte, this D line. A lot of players playing hardcore football tonight.
Malachi Washington.
They don't get their names mentioned. They don't get any credit, but there was work up front tonight.
For sure, especially in the O-line of LaPorte. They've been working really hard tonight. They've been also getting better overall in the season. And, especially when you have that really hard streak of teams that LaPorte had with Maryville and Crown Point back-to-back weeks, as Duff throws a right pass and it'll pick up a first down and it'll stop the clock. It'll probably be the last play. And
that D line of LaPorte, that Portage has some talented running backs, and they have a big offensive line. You were talking about, the weight on that Portage offensive line. They've got big boys down there, and LaPorte has just absolutely stood their ground the whole night.
Portage does not have to run a play, and they will.
See if something happens.
Duff throws deep, and it's going to be picked off again.
Maybe he'll get
He's
in the end
going to run
zone.
it back. Down the sideline, he takes a slide.
Safe.
Just like that, it's Cam Neal. The clock hits 0. The LaPorte Slicers will take home the win here at Kiwanis Field. The special teams comes in clutch. It's 2 returns as the only scores of the game. LaPorte will beat the Portage Indians 12-0. They will move on to be 2-7. Portage will go 0-9 on the regular season. Boys, player of the game, Kelly Hay for sure.
Well, yeah, there's no question about that. Whenever you have a game like he did, you got the 2 interceptions, the 2 touchdowns. You got, that little twin duo right there of the 2 and 2. But, everything just kind of went his way tonight. Obviously, they had that bad PI call, but then it got it back on that kick return. So,
yeah, no question, you guys, and a complete great game by him, and a great team effort by this LaPorte team to come in here, against all odds, against horrible weather. This was grit, dude. This is when you show up because you love the sport of football, and that's what they did tonight. They played well.
And we want to thank our crew one more time. Riley Diltz, Mitchell Moss, Emily Hunt, Nathan Collins, Andrew Nelson came in and popped in here for a little bit. I'm Avery Walma here with Austin Baltimore and Don Varda. Boys, it's finally the one time that we've been waiting for all year. The last time we take our headsets off here in the regular season.
Yeah, great seeing you guys. Thanks for letting me come up and share some time with you.
Oh, yeah.
And for all of us here at the Slicer Network, we hope you enjoyed our presentation of high school football. Good night, everybody.